Yeah, to keep my daughter out of here. I don't have a door to my office. It just kind of flows into the
Okay.
eating area.
Yeah.
That's by
What, she's
design.
walking around by now or what?
Oh hell yeah, she's walking and talk. Well, sort of talking. I don't know.
See, I know nothing about kids. I can look at someone and not know if they're like 6 years old or 12 years old.
Mm. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even
That
know when they
wasn't a
start
skill of
walking
mine
or
until you
anything.
have one. Like I remember, I got in trouble because I tried to hook up at my wedding. I tried to hook up a 4-year-old with an 8-year-old. I was like, hey, like that.
Yeah, I can
She's
see how
pretty
that could be
cute,
frowned
right? And they were like, dude, they're like, it's like half her age. I was like, I don't know, like they're around the
Yeah,
same
kid,
height,
small child.
Yeah, I was like one hadn't even started elementary school yet. The other one was in like 5th grade. I was like, yeah, she's pretty cute, right? You want to go talk to her? And they were like, what the fuck,
Ooh.
man?
Yeah, so
Not
that's the
a
things I worry about, right? Because I'm
yeah.
terrible with that stuff.
So how have you been doing um that quarantining thing, the social isolation, or is it
Yeah,
not
I mean,
hitting? And
it's not so bad for me because I mean, I do YouTube, so it's not like I'm out partying or going to people's houses all the time anyway. So
I saw on Twitter you're still fishing, aren't you?
occasionally, because apparently they consider it passive exercise, so you can get away with it.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I tried.
So that's
I'm
totally
gonna
fine.
try that with public masturbation. It's kind of
Well, technically,
passive
it'll be
exercise,
fine.
you know,
Yeah,
feeding the
but
wildlife and
oh,
exercise. Like, come on.
Jesus, all right.
No, I did you hear about this guy in California? He was out YOLO boarding in the middle of the fucking ocean, right off the coast of California,
Mm-hmm.
and like the Coast Guard or whatever, like pulled up on like two big ass speedboats on either side of him to
Uh-huh.
arrest him for avoiding quarantine.
Yeah, I've heard some interesting stories that
And they're
just
like,
seem totally unreasonable.
they're like, you need to socially isolate. He's like, I'm in the middle of the fucking ocean by myself on a
Yeah, it doesn't
surfboard.
get much more isolated than
Yeah.
that, right?
If anything, he should have done a citizen's arrest because they came to him. You know, like get the
Yeah,
fuck
they're the
away
ones
from
putting them
me.
in danger, right?
Yeah, I was by myself
Yeah,
in the middle of the water, and then like 8 people on speedboats came up to me and won't get away now.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous some of the things that are happening where they could quite easily just give them like a warning or whatever, but they're
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, have you seen
a
those
bit
videos
aggressive
of
with
them
it.
like the Chinese people? Like they come up to you and like take your temperature on the sidewalk, and then if it's high, they just shove you in the
Right.
back of a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that and I
You're
saw
never seen again.
Yeah. Or did you see the one where they're measuring temperature with their hands? Like they're not even using the gun. It's a lady just touching people's foreheads and be like, "Yeah, you're safe. You're not. You're safe."
Nah,
Like that was their system.
dude, that's I don't know. It's pretty accurate. My wife will come
Mm.
up and do the back of the hand. That lady's probably a mother of five. She comes up and does the back of the hand, and she'll go, "You're a little bit warm." And I'll take my temperature, and it'll be like 99 degrees. It's like
Yeah.
1 degree higher than it should be, and she can feel it with the back of her hand.
You reckon that's something you learn once you become a mother?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't learned shit, by the way, being a parent.
I
Guys
was
don't
actually
learn
going to ask
anything.
you about that.
Nah.
What you've actually learned or what you think you've changed since becoming a parent. You don't think
Uh,
anything?
no, not really. I'm just as cool as I always was.
Oh,
No, I don't know. Maybe a little bit more patient. You seem to
bit
learn
more
a lot
patient.
about your spouse. Like I've learned that
Right.
Abby is not a patient person.
Hmm.
Like my daughter
Well,
will.
what's more stressful than raising a human being that like you're solely responsible for, right?
I know if we fuck up, she could be like Hitler too or something.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly.
like the
And
stress is
everyone will
on.
know.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Wow, who formed this person?" And then they'll look at us.
Hmm.
Like remember when
Yeah, exactly.
Jeffrey Dahmer started like drilling heads in people or drilling holes in people's heads and shit, and everybody's like, "Holy shit! Like, what were his parents like?" And like they
Mm.
started berating them, and like, dude,
Yeah.
it was so bad that Dahmer, the killer himself, had to come out and go like, "Guys, don't blame my parents. They were cool as fuck."
Yeah.
I'm the rapist murderer, and it's not like they taught me how to do this shit. Like,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, parents are the first stop.
yeah. All right. Have you heard the? Do you find it at all suspicious that this
Oh, are you
virus.
going to talk about the China thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was actually just having a conversation about this.
yeah. Do you find it
They reckon it
suspicious
came
that
from a lab or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. The lab's like a couple
Mm,
blocks away from that wet market. Do you find that
yeah,
suspicious at all?
of course. I mean, I don't like to be one of those people with like the tinfoil hat or anything like
Yeah,
that that's coming out with all these different theories. But um, from what I've read, at least, it sounds pretty sus.
yeah. You know, I saw people. They were like lobbying to make China pay for all the damages done around the world, which is like
Mm,
trillions of dollars at this point. You know,
yeah,
and if
I
it
mean,
occurred naturally at that wet market, no, they shouldn't pay
mhm,
a dime. But if
no.
if this was something where like this lady forgot to fucking like she spilled the shit on her face and then went to the wet
Ye-
market,
yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
think they should probably pay.
See, but do you not think that China has some kind of responsibility, even if it came from a wet market? Because that shit's supposed to be illegal and like shut down in different areas, right? Do you not
uh,
think the Chinese government is somewhat responsible for that?
nah, nah. I
No.
think no, because I just feel like those people the reason why they butcher that way is because they don't have necessarily the means or the
Hmm.
infrastructure provided to have like I mean they're just trying to eat, you know. If they could
Right.
butcher and refrigerate meat, then they would. But they don't.
Well,
So they keep these
that's the
bats and
crazy thing,
chickens next
though.
to each other. And
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
like fucking like Siberian foxes and all this random stuff.
yeah.
It's insane. Have you seen the animals that they actually have?
And then they put them right next to each other in cages and they're
Yeah,
coughing and shit on each other. I mean,
it's nuts.
it's not a good
It's
recipe.
insane.
Yeah. But have you heard like don't get excited at this next part, dude. I know you're going to
Okay.
start cheering and everything, start clapping.
All right.
So, kind of
Okay.
have you heard that it actually this COVID thing affects black people more?
You know, I was actually gonna make a joke
He
about
started
that before you
laughing.
said it. But
He's
it's
like,
like,
as soon as I said it, he was like,
yeah.
just quietly fucking rooting his fist.
I
Yeah.
don't know how this is happening because everyone, like, I'm not sure if it is other content creators. Every time I talk to someone, this thing about black people comes up,
Yeah.
like that I'm secretly a racist or something. I don't know,
Uh, no,
but no,
I usually
I've
save
never.
that for Aqua. I,
Hmm. He
it's
seems
like
like the type, though, right?
it is my life goal to paint that man out to be a villain. You know,
I feel like
it's
that's
gonna.
impossible to do. He's too nice.
I know that's why I chose that as my target. I'm an overachiever. I shoot for the stars. You know,
Yeah.
like it'd be
Well, good
different if
luck
I
with
was
that
trying to
one.
label. I don't know, somebody that's already kind of an asshole as an
Hmm.
asshole. But like Aqua's so
Where would
pure.
you start if you were starting with someone that's sort of an asshole?
Hmm.
If you had to pick some person on YouTube or just like some kind of influencer, I reckon there's someone that sticks out.
Uh, there's you could do it with almost anybody, really. To be honest, see the problem with Aqua
Yeah.
is he's kind of old, you
Hmm.
know, um, and he's already got a significant other. I think the main thing that like
Right.
when guys fuck up in YouTube, it's because their fucking cocks are so hard and they're so horny. Like they'll fuck up with a
Yeah. Right.
girl,
Right. Hmm.
So you got to find a young guy, and you got to find a guy that's
Hmm.
single because that's gonna be you're gonna find out he's been DMing some girl or something,
Yeah,
you
like
know.
flexing his numbers to get like some
Yeah,
nudie pictures.
yeah. And then, but with
Mm.
an old guy like Aqua, like we've already realized that, uh, women aren't shit. No, I'm kidding. we, we're
Yeah.
old enough where it's like, if I've dipped my wick enough. I ain't gonna fucking
Yeah.
ruin any of this shit because of that. That's
Yeah.
the dumbest thing in the world. Like, if you
Hmm.
do the reverse, think about that. Like, think about if it was like a woman businesswoman, CEO,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, you lost your job. How'd you lose it? Oh, I used my position as a CEO to get some dick. Like it just sounds stupid the other way around.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Hmm.
There's no reason a woman should have that much sway over.
Mm. Well,
It's
it kind of
one
reminds
Google
me of the
away.
whole.
You can get whatever you want. Like why the fuck would you go out of your way to?
Well, exactly. You can jeopardize your whole career
Yeah,
over something like that. When I mean,
it doesn't
just
matter
go to a
what kind
porn
of gross
website or
shit you're
something.
into. Yeah, like
It's there.
it's there. That's why I never
Hmm.
understood OnlyFans. Like
No,
people,
bit strange.
yeah. And I've seen people make some like some people that are not classically good looking make an OnlyFans, and they're like, should I make an OnlyFans? And I'm like,
Well, it's
bitch,
like
have
the
you seen
iDubbbz
yourself?
partner. Yeah, there's some gross people,
Yeah,
and they still get lots of money somehow.
yeah. And I'm like, bitch, like, how are you supposed to compete? Like, I can Google women that are 10 times hotter than you eating
Exactly.
turds out of people's asses. Like, they will do the shit 10 times worse than you for free. I can look it up right now. Like, why the fuck would I give my money to you?
Well, exactly.
You know, I mean, if you're into the scat stuff, I don't know what you're into.
No, I can't say that I am.
No, you're not.
No.
Oh yeah, I actually want to talk about this. I have this written down. I do bullet points, not scat stuff. Okay. No, I was gonna talk about your thumbnails, right? Because
right, yeah.
This is weird. It's supposed to be like I was watching what's that podcast?
What were you watching? Yeah,
I was watching that the Misfits podcast, right?
Right.
An actual professional podcast, and they had that Wellen guy on.
Right, I saw that come up on my feed on Twitter, but I never actually got around to watching it.
And they do like engaging questions and ask stuff, get answers.
So you drew inspiration from that,
and I was like, wow, this is what an interview is supposed to be. Because like the first thing that happened is you came in here and you started asking me questions, and I've been answering.
I am not prepared for this.
Like I'm just almost like I'm playing solo tennis against a wall, you know. I'm like talking about myself when I'm supposed to be asking you stuff. So I got a bullet point here. It says thumbnail gay porn. That's all it says. So apparently now we're supposed to talk about thumbnail gay porn.
All right, let's do it. We'll talk about thumbnail gay porn.
Yeah. No, I think the wait, hold on. I got editor. Yo, Stalt, put up some of his gay thumbnails right here. Put up the gayest ones you can.
There's a few good ones to choose from.
You know, you can ask Stalt to do anything, by the way. He's my editor. He'll do whatever we say. Like,
really?
Yeah. Make a request right now.
You did this all by yourself.
Nah, man. I got Stalt now. He's my dog. You know, I just tell him to bark, and he just starts. He's a little Pomeranian. He's small. You know.
Hey, whatever works for you. I wish I had someone that I trusted enough to edit my stuff.
Oh no, not my actual videos. My actual videos I edit. He just
does
mean
like
the
anything in general, though.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone with anything. I think that's half my problem.
No, I don't trust Stalt. I just everything he does, I
just use him.
Yeah, I just use him.
Understandable.
And then when he fucks up, I make death threats. I'm a tyrannical boss. You know, like that outfit that SpongeBob wears to work. I made him.
Yeah.
I made an outfit like that, and I make Stalt wear it while he edits. and he goes. He told me, he's like, why do I have to wear this? I don't see anybody. I'm like, you wear it because it makes me fucking happy.
Right. And does he get paid for this, or is this all just like?
He gets paid by my gratitude. That's what. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, he gets paid. Yeah, he gets paid.
It's like sending him little pieces of his family members until like.
He's the most serious guy, dude. He has like the deepest voice, and he just everything he says just comes out like disappointment. I'm like, hey, can you do this? And he just goes, yeah, I'll do it.
Oh no. I say, kind of good idea though to get someone like that edits your videos, because like their reaction's always going to be pretty much the same, right? Whether it's something they want to do, something they don't want to do, if they like it or not.
You know,
if it was something you could like that was more expressive or something, then you'd get let down a lot.
I did it I had to, because it got to the point where I couldn't do podcast and regular videos and any sort of decent,
right?
You know. So, and I was like, you know what, the podcast really doesn't take it's time consuming, but it's not like artistically, you know,
right?
You know, like even Stalt's editing this, and he's probably like just one hand on his cock and the other hand on the mouse. You know, like he's not bent over going.
That would make too much attention.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot he has to do, but it takes fucking forever. Do you
have rules for this? Like, do not include me saying something like this. Do not include anything.
Yeah, he's my voice of reason, dude. He's like, I, you know, if we say something wacky, I leave it up to him to determine whether or not that should stay in. There's been some times in some podcasts where he has to cut that shit out.
Yeah,
and he's figured. Yeah, he's the one that kind of keeps me. He's the catcher in the rye. You know, he's on the periphery, making sure I don't wander off into the sunset on some fucking weird ass subject.
You've got it all sorted then.
Yeah, but the John McAfee one that I just did.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. How did you go from him to me? Like dude seems like a very
you know how people like
he could
build
tell
stuff
you a lot of stories
and like they want to go up, you know, like everything that I think like Kubrick, he would do like a masterpiece and then he would one up at the next movie, you know.
Right.
I'm doing the opposite. I wanna. I got McAfee. I was like, all right, that's it. And then I was like, all right, now I want to go downhill. So I was like, let's get stiffy.
Makes sense. We'll talk about gay porn for an hour.
Yeah. No, he was like on Twitter. He was like, I'm bored, right? So I want to do podcasts. So hit me up if you have a big podcast. And I have an artificially big podcast, right? Like my podcast is not naturally, organically growing. It's propped up by the fact I have a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's very top down. Yeah, because everybody that watches it just happens to be coming from my YouTube, and so on the surface, it looks like a nice podcast that probably was cultivated over a certain amount of time. And it's,
like years, and it's got a lot of like common viewers and listeners and stuff, right?
And so on the surface, they saw it and they were like, "Oh, this is a pretty reasonably sized podcast. We'll put him on this." And I don't think they actually looked at it because, like, it is. I started asking him questions about how he wipes his ass and shit, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Like, hold on. Wait a minute.
He goes, Miss Janice, put this guy on the list. I got put on the list.
Were you nervous at all, like talking to someone
at the
like
beginning?
that?
At the beginning I was, and then I realized he was because he sounds like a Bond villain, you know.
He seems kind of intimidating to me. Like he's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, because that guy's done more shit than any of us combined, you know. And then I realized he's crazy, and it's like talking to your old grandpa that's been through the war, you know.
Yeah,
because his eyes kind of glaze over, and he just starts going off.
Yeah. See, how do you feel about watching uncomfortable things or things that are supposed to make you like awkward or cringe? Because I can't really do that. When I was watching the interview, I was like, I'm just waiting for this guy to be like totally weirded out by some of these questions, or for him to be like, what the fuck am I doing? And I just couldn't watch it because it's like, this is actually making me feel uncomfortable.
Dude, I don't like that stuff. It's sort of like, it depends what it is. I think the hardest video I've ever watched is that there's like this kid, I've talked about it before, but it's a kid in high school, and he's gonna do the Harlem Shake thing. and you know how like you preemptively tell everybody, all right, we're gonna do the Harlem Shake, so start dancing. Well, this guy doesn't tell everybody that, and he's like obviously the loser in high school. And he has his like cameraman follow him. He's like, come on, we're gonna do the Harlem Shake.
Okay.
And he like busts into the cafeteria and he goes, everybody do the Harlem Shake. And like the full cafeteria is just dead silent, and they all just look at him.
No.
And it's just quiet. And he goes, come on, everybody. And like one kid in the back just goes, no. and he goes, come on, please, like, come on. And it doesn't end there. It keeps going for like a minute and a half of him just like going through the cafeteria, like, anybody, please. You're just watching a school shooter get made, you know? It's like, and he just keeps going.
I can't with that stuff.
But what's funny is I've only seen it through once. I sat down, I forced myself to watch it because the only thing I can get to is everybody do the Harlem Shake, and then 2 seconds of quiet, and then I go bloop, and I click out.
Yeah, because it almost feels like you're there, right? Like you're part of the awkwardness.
Oh, dude, I can't take it. Like my asshole can't take it. It clinches into it's like it turns into a diamond. I'm like, I can't do it. Not healthy.
That's actually a perfect segue back into the gay porn thing. Your asshole can't take it, so we'll start talking about the thumbnails.
Yeah. We're supposed to. I'm not good at keeping myself on track. You want to hear something funny about the gay porn thumbnails?
Always.
Okay, so I was like telling Abby, my wife, about these, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. She ain't exactly. She's like, she is of a different realm, you know. Like she uses the computer because she has to at work, but like besides that, she like watches HGTV.
Yeah.
She's like a normie, you know.
Yeah, the kind of person that has like a computer to do their resume kind of thing.
Yeah,
or the cover letters.
She's like, what the heck's with this gosh darn confoozler? Like, she really doesn't.
Right.
She's not like a techie person. And so, anyways, I'm like, and our humor is on different wavelengths, right? And so, like, I love your thumbnails, right? Like the one of Danny DeVito like crawling to the loot in Rust. Like, I just sat there and laughed at that thumbnail for like 10 minutes. But so I'm like, dude, this guy, he takes gay porn scenes and then he like photoshops them, so it's like a part of the game. Yeah, so it's innocent. And she was like, I don't get it. So I'm like going through your YouTube thing and I'm like showing her in the backyard. I'm like showing her. I'm like, look, like this. And she's like, I don't, you know, she's so innocent. She doesn't see it. So then I have to describe to my wife like all this gay porn shit. I'm like, look, like the gun. That's actually a cock in that guy's mouth. That's not a gun. That's a big, hard fucking cock right there. And you see how it's like this guy coming up behind this other dude and like slitting his neck? That's all photoshopped in. He's really just cramming him in the ass. You don't see this?
Yeah.
And now she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how do you see that and know it's gay porn?
See, but that's the extra good thing about the thumbnails is it inspires conversation, right?
Yeah.
It inspires debate.
You know what I hate about hetero porn?
What's that?
Just how fucking feminine it is, you know? It's 50% more feminine than gay porn. There's nothing more masculine.
On that topic though, like, out of curiosity, when you do watch porn, does it matter to you what the guy actually looks like?
Me? It's all about the guy. It is. I'm tunnel vision on it. 100%. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Nah, you know, honestly, my wife was asking me about my porn viewing habits.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Well, do you still watch porn? Surely you still watch porn, right?
Am I breathing?
Opa.
Yeah. No. Honestly, like my main thing is like, you ever like watch like I'm a huge into amateur porn, right?
I feel like most people are, right?
Yeah.
More real and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like as long as like the people are enjoying it, you know what I mean? Like that's I'm happy about that. I think it's from a long life of having unconsensual partners. No, I'm kidding. It's no, it's you know, it just they're just loving it so much. In fact, that they're like, let's film this thing because we're having such a good time. I think like one of the
people will enjoy watching it.
Yeah, one of the most wholesome things I've ever seen is it's an old set of pictures from like early internet days, and it's this fucking freak of nature that looks like Ricky Berwick and his freak of nature girlfriend. No. And it's like a set of porn pictures, and they're all like fucking weird and disabled and shit, but they're having a blast. all fucking like their little spider legs all mushed together and shit.
No, I can't even look at that.
And they have like a swing, you know, like a sex swing. And I was like, and the part that I was blown away by is like his balls.
How much of this did you see?
I saw the whole thing. His balls and everything were like shaved perfectly. I was like, dude, this guy can't even like grab a pencil really correctly. He fucking shaved those things, glistening, hairless. Abby's around the corner at the coffee maker. I know she's sitting there just like, what the fuck? I saw her shadow go across, and she's like, probably standing there like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Heavy sigh comes from the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I always saw that, and like at first, like your natural reaction is to recoil in disgust, you know?
Yeah.
Like when you see a roach skitter across the floor. But
they're having fun. They're doing.
Yeah, I realized like once I learned to look, you know, I was like, hey, you know what? They're just having a blast. There's nothing wrong with that.
Takes a big pair of perfectly shaved balls to be able to do that, honestly.
Yeah. What else do I got here? Oh yeah, you were recently in that Rust tournament thing with hosted by H June.
The Trust and Rust event.
Yeah, and I wasn't invited by H June or you, for that matter, to be on your fucking team or nothing. How'd that thing go?
Well, H-June invited me and I didn't reply because I was like, Rust tournament, not
Yeah.
really that interested. And then maybe a week later, Serge sent me and Mr. Mimo a message saying, hey, I got this friend, but we need 2 other people. Do you want to come on our team? So I was like, yeah, all right. Like, because I'm friends with them anyway, so it might be fun. Yeah. It was okay. It's just, it's kind of cringy because so many people took it real serious and like tried so hard to win. And that's what I kind of hate about Rust in general is just the tryhards of it, like all the real sweaty people that just like think they're the best in the world.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than competitive anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care
Especially
what it is.
Rust.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about Rust, but people that play Rust are the fucking worst.
I've been saying that for years. That game is like it has the perfect tool set to be a great game, but it is played completely wrong. Like the community took it and they just play it the wrong way. I'm like, listen here, fuckers, you're not using the mailboxes or the notes or any of the shit that they gave you. You are just like exclusively
turning it into like another FPS game.
Bo, aka house. I want your house. Like this is like the most meathead way to approach that game.
It really is. Like, imagine some of the cool shit you could do with the things that are actually in the game, but people aren't really interested.
Like that Wellen guy, his whole thing is to encapsulate this this entire event that happens on Rust. And I watch it and I go, that didn't fucking happen like that, you lying piece of shit.
So I'm not the only one.
You cut out all the fucking 80 hours of you getting screamed the N-word by some guy, you know?
Exactly.
Getting beaten to death with spears.
Yeah, I don't even know how he has the patience to do the videos that he does. Like,
I don't know.
It's always like these, like over 2 days, 3 days straight, like something will happen and it'll be him just like getting revenge or whatever. I just don't have the patience for that stuff.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if he's ever going to shift to like scripted. Okay, because like the base event is not scripted. He gets that organically, and then he wraps a narration around it. He creates a narrative, right? That's cool. But that's the same way that Frankie on PC in 1080p, you know that guy? That's how he started out. And then he realized, oh, it's a whole lot easier and faster if I just simply write it from the beginning and hire some idiot for $4 to stand in the forest and I kill him, you know?
Right. And for the longest time, I feel like, or even now, I feel like most people think it's actually genuine. Like they don't actually know that it's scripted.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people just buy into it and just watch it.
You know, Frankie
really, I don't enjoy that shit.
He was one of the people that he was the reason I started. Was Frankie.
I feel like he was a big part for why I started as well.
Yeah.
Watching him play DayZ like years ago, it was like some of the best stuff.
And you know what's funny is when people argue that it's not scripted, those are the people that have never played DayZ because playing the DayZ
play
mod,
DayZ.
I played
run
that
around
game
for 50 hours, see what happens.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I played that game. Like that's it. That I would get up in the morning and I would play that game. Or I went to school and when I got home, I would. That was before, like me and Abby were dating, but that was before she like lived with me, you know. And like that's what I fucking did, was play that game. And and the entire time I played, for years, if you take all that and condense it down to like a 15-minute thing of all the biggest action pieces, it only makes up half of what happened in one Frankie video.
Exactly, right? Like nothing ever happens in DayZ.
No, I was watching something
when it
where
does,
like
it's great.
In the intro, he gets on like an airplane, or he kills some guy that's like prepping an airplane at the airfield on Overpoch or on Epoch. He's playing on the Epoch mod, and some guy's like prepping an airplane. He hears it. His base is getting overran by a tank, and like he runs down there and like he kills the guy that's in the air, gets in the airplane and flies away like fucking James Bond while the tank is rolling out onto the airfield. I'm like, fucking right. No, it's not gonna.
Yeah, that's not how. Yeah,
no, not in a million years.
And I feel like in a way he's kind of like unintentionally, obviously, sort of fucked a lot of people over because people come to DayZ
And they expect
to like
that.
watch content, and that's what
Yeah.
they expect. Like that stuff does not happen.
Yeah.
You can play that game, like I said, for 50 hours and maybe see like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah. I think that's what
It's a very
ruined
slow game.
what's Scum. That game Scum was that you never see anybody.
Yeah, yeah, Scum's pretty much the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like they made a huge map. Like I think we've talked about this before, but they made that massive map and put like military loot pretty much in every town or zone or whatever. So like you just never saw anyone.
Yeah. Well, like my main complaint about DayZ was the whole you have this giant map and you don't utilize it because everybody's down at the shore, and then there's only like 3 or 4 pathways up that people take to like the main cities and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when Scum came out, that was a very like how much money did they spend making Scum and the team and everything? That was a very expensive lesson of why DayZ does that. Because Scum spawns you evenly distributed on the map and you don't see a fucking person.
Yeah, there's no reason to go to certain areas.
Yeah, and so
like, oh, I spawned next to a house that's got like assault rifles and shit, and I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, and so I play DayZ, and then I go, oh, that's why they did that. Okay, thanks, Scum. Thanks for the millions of dollars or whatever it took to make that game. Thanks for that little lesson.
Scum looked real promising. Like it looked like it was going to be a great game, and then it came out, and it was just like a shittier version of DayZ.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
Like, it had all this stuff going for it, but I don't think they ever got around to actually putting it in the game.
I've always hated about DayZ is you get a gun, and then you have to get which the ammos never buy the fucking gun.
Ah, right, yeah.
And then
and you'll find like 80 different rounds of bullets and never find the gun that uses them.
And then on top of that, you have to find the magazine. And so half the time you have like the gun and the bullets, but no magazine, so you have to load it Civil War style, like one bullet at a time.
You gotta manually, and you gotta manually do it all now. Like, you spend on just like drag ammo into the magazines and stuff, but now you gotta like chamber it at a time.
Yeah,
everything about it.
There's a point where realism gets in the way of fun.
Yeah.
And that game's reached it. Like DayZ Mod, remember you'd go into a place and you'd find a Lee Enfield, and guess what was right next to it? Lee Enfield bullets.
Yeah.
Holy dog shit. Let me tell you something. Right next to me, I have an old 1891 Italian bolt-action rifle. And there's some bullets right next to it. Do you think they're shotgun shells? No, they're fucking bullets that go into that gun. Because that's what normal people do. If you're going for realism, I would love it if you put the bullets that go into the gun next to the gun.
Right.
Because I don't own a shotgun.
Drives me nuts.
Why would I have shotgun? Like, I'm tired of going into houses and there's just like gun and then random array of bullets that don't go to it.
Yeah, I know. It drives me crazy. It just takes so long to find supplies in that game too.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. And they added the whole like diseases thing. That game was just...
DayZ is just one of those things. Whenever I think about it, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, DayZ!" Like, I want to play it and I want to make content out of it. And then I'll like start the game and be playing it, and I'm like, "Why am I doing this? This is so boring." Like, you just run around for hours and nothing happens.
Yeah.
I just wish it was better than what it is. I guess.
Did you ever play like the Overpoch mods and stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
They kind of fixed the game. I'm not gonna lie. They back in the day, at least, like you would spawn in and you could pick region to spawn in, and then you would do a Halo drop where it was like you picked a region, and then from there you could kind of parachute, and that was fucking great because I mean you couldn't land exactly where you wanted to, but you landed within like a 5-minute
vicinity
run
of it, right?
And that was reasonable. And then there was also one where like you'd come in with a toolbox and you could either use that toolbox to fix up a car if you found like if it needed tires, like you would use the toolbox as a way to put the tire on to a car.
Yeah.
Or the second you spawned, you could make a fucking 10-speed bike out of the toolbox and it would consume it. And so it was kind of like that. Do I want to fix up a car later, or do I want to go really fast now on the 10-speed bike?
Yeah.
And like you would spawn anywhere, and then you could just bike to, and it was like 3-4 times faster than walking, and that was great. And then like the standalone
it's
came
weird.
out,
Why is that not in the game? Like, how have they not put a bicycle in the standalone. Or
They
actually, they've
had-
got vehicles in it, but none of them work. They
You
all
know
fly
what?
off the map.
I have railed against this game since the second it fucking came out, and like,
Good.
and like when it came out, I made this video. I was like, this game's dog shit, and everybody got mad at me. They were like, oh, this fucking guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then
DayZ's one of them weird things with its player base, though.
Yeah.
People will defend the game until they die.
like a year later or 2 years later, I made another video shitting on it, and by that time, people were like, this guy's kind of right.
Shit. He got
But
us.
there's two avenues here. There's when that game came out, there's what people wanted out of DayZ and what they expected, and then there's what the developers wanted, and they chose to go down the what the developers wanted path, where like everybody's like, hey, there's game breaking stuff. This game's all fucked up, and the developers like, hey, instead of fixing that, let's add in a cooking stove that uses gas. That you'll never find. Why?
That and like all the plant seeds and watering and all that shit.
Nobody's
that no one
cultivating a garden. I'm not gonna whip out a Punnett square to figure out like seed germination and shit. Like I'm not doing that.
It goes back to like what you were saying, like realism gets in the way of fun at a certain level, and that's it.
The only thing that they've added that's been kind of fun is the fact that you can force feed people bananas and you can God,
give them poison and shit.
I've been looking for a game where you could handcuff someone and shove something phallic down their mouth, and that game is the only thing that scratches that itch. Yeah. And you can shave people. Like there's nothing more.
Wait, you can shave people?
At least on the one that on the stand, it might be a mod thing because they added mods to the standalone, which kind of fixed it. But they were like, there's nothing more feminizing than like holding someone down and shaving their face.
Shaving them.
It just cracks me up. If you have like a Bowie knife or whatever, it's like, hold on, brother, I got you. And it makes like a little noise and like their beard just disappears.
What?
Yeah, it makes them really uncomfortable. They're like, oh, please don't do that. Oh, man.
Is DayZ what you actually started with on YouTube?
Nah, I started with Skate 3.
Skate 3?
Yeah. No, not Skate 3. I started with like Skate 2 maybe. Like, do you remember those games? Skate? EA Skate?
Yeah, I remember them.
Dude, I used to play the shit out of those. And I was like, hey, I really liked these companies, Girl and Chocolate. They came out with a couple like skate videos. And I was like, damn, these things are cool. I'm going to make one of these in-game. So I made a couple skate videos. And all my friends, like Steve and Brian, they all... No, not Brian. What the fuck am I talking about? Steve and like some other people that I don't talk to anymore. They would, I would say like, hey, you're gonna have a line in this video. So like, we would like film lines for him and everything, just like real life, but just like fat loser kid version of that, right? And
that was a kid.
And then we would like put like music and everything together, and we'd make like a skate video, but of our friends, and that's how it started. Nobody wanted to see him except for just me and my friends because it was like our thing. And,
yeah.
And then that went to like, I forget what shit I started with. And then I ended up doing Skyrim, and those kind of caught on a little bit.
Yeah. But when did you hit the point that you were like, hey, I can actually do this for a job?
Oh, that was, I'm a slow learner. Let's be honest. Why are you asking me fucking questions? You're like the interviewer.
This is my podcast now, motherfucker.
No, all right, you answer the same fucking question after I'm finished answering. How about that?
I will.
Yeah. I'm a slow learner, right? So it took me several hundred videos for me to realize what people want to watch. And there was a long time where I was trying to be serious, and be like informative guy. And
You're
then,
like a Frankie on PC.
Yeah, and then I realized that I'm not good at anything. I don't have any talents. So then that was a fucking brutal wake-up moment where I was like, holy shit, I suck. I fucking suck a lot of ass. So I got to be funny or something. And and I was making like a lot of Skyrim videos, and even those weren't like, the only thing that set them apart from every other Skyrim like Let's Play thing. That was back when you could do Let's Plays. The only thing that set them apart was the fact that they were just gross and like comedy based, but they weren't really funny. Let's be honest.
Okay.
And I did that for a while, and then I started doing exclusive. Like I had a job, you know, but
Yeah.
YouTube was making me,
right?
yeah, it was making me more money doing YouTube. And but I was just working for a family business. They needed me, and
Yeah.
and then it got to the point where I was like, Skyrim was dying, so I was like, all right, I gotta fucking figure shit out. And I swore to myself, I'll never be stuck to one game ever again. That's why when Tarkov started getting like 1 million views of video, I cut those fuckers off.
Yeah, yeah. He came out with a farming simulator video.
Yeah, I was like, nah, chief. I might as well karate chop this baby in the crib. I ain't gonna let it grow up and strangle. And then I told Aqua to do the same thing. That fucking idiot. He's stuck on that Tarkov teat, suckling away.
Well, it's scary, right? You don't want to get stuck on the same game because.
No, I can't chill because
once you get bored of it,
yeah,
you're
that's
fucked.
true. That's true. I think I don't know. He's on Twitch and stuff, and like he gets more viewers than I've ever gotten. You know, like he'll get like 1,700 viewers on average on Twitch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like he's dead behind them eyes. You know. You tell he might not want to be there so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. See, how do you feel about? Oh no, fuck! I'm asking another question.
Yeah, you shut the fuck. How about you? When did you know that your YouTube was gonna work?
Hang on, let me just ask you about this Tarkov thing before I answer that. Are you still into Tarkov? Do you still find it fun?
Oh no, dude! I like cutting myself off of that game was the hardest thing in the world because I loved that. I love that game. It's a great game. I love it. I would play it every day if I could, but then I was like, dude, I don't want to be stuck on just that game. I don't want and so I was like, look, I'm gonna quit it now, you know, and then when it wipes, I'll get back on there. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tear it up when it wipes again. But like, I just had to stop. But dude, I love it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a great game.
Yeah,
and I think
I was the same.
Yeah, and it's a testament to how good it is and how unique it is that people like us are willing to make videos on it and admit that it's a great game to make videos on, even with no VoIP. Because if they added VoIP to that game, that would be a game changer, man. That would be the game.
If that had VoIP, it would be so easy to make content out of it.
Oh my god, it would be an all-you-can content buffet.
Isn't the easiest game to make content out of? Like, it can take a lot of recording, I think, to actually be able to make like a decent video, because a lot of the time, nothing that exciting is really happening.
Yeah, you know, whenever I would go and like edit my footage for Tarkov, I would realize that about 60% of everything funny that happened was just us talking during a loading screen.
Yeah.
I actually went through and like looked at a Tarkov video of mine. It had like good numbers and everything, and it was well received. And like, I had this thing where like I'll record for a week, and I'll take like all these things that kind of have something in common and like create a narrative out of it. And then after I complete that narrative, I'm like, well, I still have like 10 minutes of funny shit that happened. It just has nothing to do with this meat and tater section. And so I'll just put it at like the end. I'm like, all right, this is just bonus shit. And I just put it in. And when I put that in, like all that section was just us just shit talking during the loading screen. I'm like, it's not very funny. It's kind of like it's like a podcast type thing where you have to just listen to it. But you know, I don't know. It's a fun game. I definitely like it.
It is good.
All right, so anyways, back to you with the whole. I had you know the.
He's trying to wrestle back control of his podcast. Well, I was working at the time anyway. I only got into YouTube because for my job, I had to learn how to use different programs. I was a teacher, by the way, in case you didn't know that. I was teaching like it was like a gaming course basically, but I did all the 3D animation and texturing and whatever else. But my boss was actually leaving the following year, and she wanted me to take over what she did, which was like all the editing stuff. And
what do you mean gaming course? Like,
I'm not sure if you guys really have them in America. They're called TAFEs, or like RTO. I think the closest thing you guys have to them are like community colleges, where it's like you'd go to just get like a smaller certificate or degree.
Oh, it's called a trade school here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically where I worked. But there was one for a gaming certificate.
Oh, okay.
Where
Like
it was just went for
development?
like a year. Yeah, well, it taught
Yeah.
you like everything basically, like the basics of everything, and then you kind of pick what you enjoyed or what you want to learn more, and then like specialize in that at college.
Yeah.
Um, but I was doing that, and like I said, she was gonna quit the next year, so I had to take on all her stuff, which was Adobe Premiere Pro. So I had to learn that, and I was like, well, I may as well just like edit my own footage. It's probably the easiest way to learn. So I started making videos.
Yeah.
And I think it was about 2 years later where I was actually making more money on YouTube, or about the same on YouTube as I was teaching. I was like, well, I'm not going to stay here. Teaching fucking sucks. A lot of people like it, but it sucks.
You know, you being a teacher really, I understand that completely now. It matches up after
Really?
seeing your just immense amount of patience when it comes to dealing with kids on Rust. Like you just walk up to them and they're just screaming at you, and you're always just cool, calm, and collected. You're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yep.
you know.
Mhm. Yeah. It definitely helped me.
Yeah,
You learn
because
a
I'm
lot
sure
of
the
patience.
people that come in and get
You gotta think
certificates
about
at a fucking college like that for gaming are like
Oh,
Aspies,
man.
and you're just like
There are so
patting their
many
head.
retards, dude. There's so many people that you just want to tell to like just get out. Just don't even come back. Just leave.
Yeah, I
Like,
had a friend that was a
ugh.
welding teacher, and he said the
Mhm.
moment class started at the beginning of the semester, he could
Mhm.
look through and tell who was going to make it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Is
There's
that
so many people
was
that
that
used to
same way?
come that was like, hey, I play video games, so I'll go do like a gaming course. The
Yeah,
second where you got to get into like anything remotely technical or whatever, they're just like, nah,
yeah,
they just don't care or whatever. But
huh?
yeah, that's the worst thing about teaching is obviously just some of the students you get that you can't control. Obviously, you can't choose who you get in your class, and there's just so many. It's like the world, you know. You go out, or even the internet. How many stupid people do you come across all the time, right? So it's just 100% you're gonna come across students that are just stupid.
You know, I'm not like really that into politics and stuff, right?
Mm.
And I tried not to have like a cynical outlook on life, but when I
No, that made me laugh.
slowly, like as I got older, I realized I think it was like Hamilton or someone like that that
Mm-hmm.
that is famous for saying people are too stupid to know who to vote for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not just with politics, but it's just like I've realized now that I'm older, not to be like
Yeah.
an asshole on my high horse or anything, but the average person is about
It's
dumb as
just
dog
stupid.
shit. Yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I was telling my friend last night, I was like, I've never been in a car accident because when I get in a car and I'm driving, I just assume that everybody around me has fucking Down syndrome.
Is an
I
idiot.
just
Yeah.
assume, like, because they're
Yeah.
just, I just assume they're on the phone with a burrito in their mouth. They're just dumb.
Yeah. You
And
got to drive for other
yeah,
people when you're on the road.
I'm never going to assume, oh, that guy sees me. No, he doesn't. He's busy
No.
whacking off in his driver's seat. He has no idea
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on. And
But it's true. The world is full of stupid people.
yeah,
They're everywhere.
absolutely slam packed. But not us. We're intellectuals.
Ah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It goes without saying.
We're hovering over everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that we just came
High
together,
society.
you know, and just
Mm-hmm.
listen to us pontificating. Two
Yeah,
gods
quick,
having a conversation, exchanging thoughts. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Stupid people. They're everywhere.
God. So, okay, so I got a question. Like, you know Surge
Okay.
in real life, right?
Yes.
You know, that guy, who I used to
Mhm.
think was cool, right?
Used to. All right.
Yeah, I met him when I was in Seattle, and I was like, hey,
Uh-huh.
you know, he's really good at that 3D graphics thing.
Oh, he's insane with
and
that stuff.
editing,
Yeah.
right? And I was
Mhm.
like, maybe you do that for me on my channel for free, no charge. And he said no. Can you believe that? Fucking scumbag. I
That
thought he
son
was
of a
cool,
bitch.
and then he was like, "Nah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that." Yeah. And you know what else pisses
No.
me off is like, you know, YouTubers are supposed to be like slovenly, gross people that hang out in their house all day, you know. And then
He's a pretty handsome, clean dude.
fucking a handsome guy, he dresses nice and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Mhm.
I saw him like swag walking down the sidewalk. I was like, look at this fucking piece of shit. He ain't no
Yeah,
YouTuber.
he's
He
a
ain't
cool
fucking
dude.
sitting inside all day.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I check out your Twitter and you're out like deep sea fishing and shit with your massive biceps. Fuck this guy. These are fake YouTubers. They're not real.
Yeah.
They don't sit inside like me and Aqua. Aqua looks like a bum that you see under a fucking overpass with heroin needles in his pocket. And, and I'm all like fat and greasy and shit. And yeah, and he's all like, you know, he's got what's the word for it? He like dresses nice and everything. You know, you can tell he's just like a lady killer.
He's got a bit of style. Yeah. Well, he'll upload like a Rust video, and then you go to his Instagram, and it'll have like a video of him just like out in the streets in Melbourne City, or like skateboarding or something. It's like, why is this the same dude?
You know what? He's the classic example of if you take a girl at a club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks up to her and fucking just gets a unsolicited fistful of her ass, right? He just grabs it, and, squeezes it till he leaves bruised imprints on her butt cheek. She would turn around and giggle and go, "Oh, Serge." Slap him on the cheek. And then I go around and do it. All of a sudden, it's a sexual harassment thing. Like, that's the difference between us visually.
No, come on now.
I would be in court defending myself. I don't know. I saw Serge do it. I thought I could. Didn't turn out good. No, the whole reason I started talking about him was because he's like really proficient at editing and stuff. Did you? And I know you know him. Did you like know him from work or anything? Or
no, we just met in a bar basically.
Oh really?
Really? Yeah, that's how we
like
met.
YouTube first, and then bar. Did you were you just striking up convo at a bar? Hey, do you happen to do autistic Rust videos? Because I do.
Yeah. No, I wasn't quite that lucky.
No.
We I think we had only ever talked like a little bit, maybe once, like on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was PAX Australia, and it was through Mr. Mimio. He was like, "Oh, we should just go to a bar or something," and then he invited Serge, and yeah, that was the first time I met him. And then it was only probably 2 months ago. I was at a bar, and then he just walked in randomly, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Huh.
And then we started talking again. It was pretty random.
Yeah, I need to talk to Mimio again. I haven't talked to him since like back when
I love Mimio.
Back when Bumbo was around. Like I think he was the link between me and Mimio. Yeah. But
man, whatever happened to Bumbo?
I don't know. We don't talk about that fucking
Is he
scumbag
dead or
here.
what?
Yeah, dude, I have so much like pent up hatred for that man because he had it all.
He did, right? He had so
it.
many. Yeah, he had a lot of potential.
And then he just stopped, and I was like, "Oh, maybe he's
got a
doing
girlfriend,
something."
That's what it was.
I was like, "Maybe he's doing something," you know. And like, I talked to his girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, what's Max doing?" She's like, "Oh, he just spends most of his day staring at the wall." It's like, what do you have him on a fucking like morphine drip? Like, what's this guy doing? And
it's sad actually.
No, she was the one that made him start doing it again. She was like, "Look, you got to do something." Yeah. So like before then, it was like before they started dating, he just dropped off the face of the planet. You know, and
it's a shame.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I think that's
what
it is.
Watching
like,
his streams before I even really got into doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I was even really doing YouTube, and I remember, like, watching his streams and videos and shit. It was ages ago.
I just never got it. Like, I don't know. I think it was, like, the lack of drive to make stuff that...
Yeah.
I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It pissed me off, because I'm like, you had the opportunity. Just fucking...
especially when so many
just
people
do it.
would kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, right?
Yeah, so many
people
would
would kill.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a little bit sad to see someone just be like,
because his channel still has like 80,000 subs or something, like, which people, you know. And by the way, that doesn't sound like a lot now, because you know, me and you were up here once again, lords hovering above.
You're getting
everybody.
close to 1 million too.
Yeah,
you're close to 1 million,
which sucks because at like 100,000, I said at 1 million, I'm killing myself. Now I really don't want to. Not really high on my to-do list.
I'm setting up a will. And, Well, okay.
Yeah, but I said, and the people, they're gonna get it. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah, I really can't go back on your word now.
Yeah. So no, but like at the time when he quit, like 80,000 was still like at the
That's
time.
a big following,
Yeah,
right?
it was a huge amount. I remember
I was
when I
talking to
started.
Aqua about this, so
When
sorry
I
to
started, a
interrupt you,
million
dash out
was
for a second.
a million was a lot, right? It still is
A
a
million
lot.
is so much. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
but when I started, like that was my thing, was like a million. I was like, oh my god, what if when I get to
Yeah.
a million?
It almost seems like unreachable. It's like a
And
huge
now,
number.
like back then, it was like if you had a million subs, people knew who you were.
Right.
And now, everybody and their fucking dead grandma has a million subs, and I'm gonna get there, and nobody's gonna give a shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
It
there's
really
like
do be like that.
within the Siege community, Rainbow Six Siege, there's like 8 YouTubers that have over a million
Yeah, what the
subs.
fuck is with that game? How
I don't
come everyone just got popular
I don't
playing
know.
Rainbow Six?
There's that Meaty Marley guy,
Uh-huh.
and if you watch Rainbow Six Siege, you'll be like, oh, Meaty Marley, I know him. But if you
Of course.
don't, you will have never heard of him, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a funny guy, and I think he's a good guy. He's super nice. But at the same time, I'm like, how the fuck does this guy make a video and it gets like as many views as like a PewDiePie video? We get like 2 million views just as soon as he drops
nuts,
it.
Huh?
But I almost want him to make a video on something else,
Yeah.
like just make a Daisy video. Like where I wonder how it would do on his
suffer
channel.
for a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's so weird how isolated it is.
Everyone that played it at the beginning is basically got like a decent channel now. If they were making content when Siege came out, like they've done well.
Did you play Siege when it came out?
Yeah, and I fucking hated it, but I wish I liked it. I should have just stuck with it.
Dog shit when it first came out.
Yeah,
there was a lot of fixing,
and it
that
failed
had to
too
happen.
until they changed it to like you could play it for free or some shit. But
that's a fucking success story right there. Because I remember
they turned that shit around.
I was a huge fan of Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that. I played that.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of that, where you could like make your custom character, and then Rainbow Six Siege was announced, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be incredible! It's gonna be just like those old days. I went and played it. I was like, what the fuck is this? Ain't nothing like it. This is dumb as shit. Yeah. All right, what were you gonna say about Aqua? I never missed an opportunity to bash on him.
What was I gonna say? Oh, it was about the numbers thing. We were talking about this a little while back. How I think you get to a certain stage on YouTube or a certain number where it doesn't seem like what you probably thought it seemed like when you started. Like you're at close to 1 million, right?
Yeah.
I'm at about 500K. Before I started YouTube, I would have seen a channel that was that size and I'd be like, holy, like that is huge. I want to get to like 100K subs or something like that. But when you're in the middle of it, you're like, I don't know if you still feel the same way. I still feel like I'm on that same like grind to like be a successful channel. Like I feel like for some reason, like no number is ever going to be high enough kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you ever watch, I've done a couple tours in the military, and
yeah, right.
And when I was in Desert Storm at the base, they would always have these signs that say "complacency kills," because when you're, if you're in active duty, it does. The second you're comfortable around anything that can kill you, it will kill you.
Yeah.
Especially with like woodworking, by the way. If we could do a side thing here, like if you're making cabinets or something like that, and you're doing like the same cut 400 times at a table saw, that's when you're gonna cut off your fucking fingers. But because you're just like you become complacent. But honestly, on YouTube, subscribers don't matter. It's all about like what your view per video is, and like you get as many views as you have subs a lot of the time. Or at least like 80% of the way there. That is like the premium of healthy channel. That is a ridiculously healthy channel. And I am terrified of being that channel that has 1 million subs.
Right, I think about that shit
like
all the
80
time.
Views per video or something.
Like I don't want to become like Vertigo or Sir Winter.
Yeah.
Not to drop any names, but I see like their channel sizes, and then I see what they get per video, and I'm like, yikes! I hope. I used
to be that guy like fucking 8 months ago. Like
Really?
I've been there, and I was like, and because if you don't treat it like it's a grind every day of like what's that next thing to
Right.
make funny, you know,
Mhm.
then and you got to constantly evolve. Like if you look at my
Right.
videos, like even a year and a half ago, they were different than they are now
Yeah.
because you got to sit there and now I don't like. I'm not really into the business side of this thing. I don't sit there and go through analytics. There's people like that Wilbur
No,
Sook
yeah.
guy. I don't know if you know
Mhm.
him, Wilbur.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That guy is the exact opposite of where he doesn't really care about like the video being made so much as he cares about
The numbers and the
yeah, like
analytics.
he goes pouring through the analytics and goes, okay, this video got me this many subs per like,
Yeah,
so
nah.
I need to do like that. And you know, at first I hate people like that. You
Mhm.
know, but and I wouldn't naturally like talk about him in a negative way, except for in
Right.
the beginning of his own fucking video, he talks about it. Like he's like,
Yeah.
guys, make sure to subscribe and like this because I'm going to be going through the analytics and the statistics and seeing
No.
how much. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, no, no.
You
Can't
can
do
tell
that.
he has a different age group of people watching if they're gonna fall for that shit. If I said that on my
Yeah.
video, people would be like, "Hey Sam, you're
Yeah,
fucking
nice
fat
try.
and I hate you." Dislike. They fucking dislike that shit in 2
Yeah.
seconds. Oh
Mhm.
man, but he's in a totally different realm. He's in like a what is that called? Like a very happy and good vibes kind of
Yeah,
territory on
yeah.
YouTube because he's with that
Mhm.
Carson guy. Like him and Carson hang out or like talk a lot. You know?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Carson like I forget what it was? It was like his bitch cheated on him or something. And
Yeah, it's all happening right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you know, everybody says that was a horrible thing, but I think this Katie girl is doing the world a great service by fucking 3 YouTubers. That is, YouTubers are people that never get laid, and I feel like she is a champion.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, fucking not only Fitz
What
but
a
Carson.
fucking weird story, though.
That's
Yeah.
that's a great thing. She's a
Yeah.
beautiful human doing that.
I think there's
Cause
like 5 guys.
yeah,
How do
burgers
you
and
even get
fries.
away with that?
I don't know.
How can you? I couldn't even like handle 2 people. Like, how do you have 5 people going at the same time?
Uh, you know, I
Like
don't
that.
know.
Let's be honest. That requires some level of talent and skill.
Yeah, they very cunning manipulator.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. That says a lot about like her as a person, though.
Yeah.
Beyond the whole like, oh, how could you cheat on someone? That's
Yeah.
like, yeah, tells you
Yeah,
pretty
and
much
that's
what
a
you need
lot
to
of
know.
growth from you, to be honest, because God, I remember a day where you wouldn't say a positive thing about a woman, and here you are.
Yeah, they were
Here
dark
you are
days, huh?
championing this woman that was able to
Yeah.
manipulate 2 or 3 people, 5 people, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we've gone full
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. God. What a
We learned some
genius this
lessons along the way, but here we are now.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I've always thought about that. I have like a iconic clip. Yeah, maybe it's not iconic to anybody else, but I think it's funny. It was this guy that was like asking me about monogamy on Twitch back when I did Twitch stuff, and
Yeah.
and he was asking me like, Sam, like, would you ever cheat or something like that, or how do you like, what do you think about people that cheat?
Mm.
And I was like, guys, I'm 100% in a monogamous relationship because I can only handle like one woman at a time. I don't know why you would
Right.
voluntarily subject yourself
Yeah.
to 2
Invite
women
another person. Yeah.
because the only thing worse than one woman is 2 women. It was like it was
Yeah.
monogamy not because out of respect and trust and everything. It was because like why the fuck would you want it? Like why would 2 people like barking in your ear all the time? So I
Wow.
yeah, you know my dad and my brother both have that like cheaty gene going on, you know?
Oh,
They,
really?
yeah, they're always looking to the side to see like what's around the corner, you know?
Oh, no.
You know, like that next piece of ass. And I'm like, dude,
Uh-huh.
you guys have not discovered Pornhub.
Yeah,
Really
right? Like, yeah.
if you ever get
I was
that
going to mention
feeling,
it
just
earlier.
fucking whack off and be done with your day. Like I would
Like,
never.
the real thing isn't that good. I
Yeah,
feel like I feel like it's overrated. The
yeah.
real thing really isn't that spectacular. You can go to YouTube. Oh, fucking not YouTube, I hope.
No,
You
you
go
can go to
to
YouTube.
You can probably go to YouTube, look at my thumbnails if you really want to. But you can go to all the different porn websites out there, spend, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you want to do, minutes. And you kill
3 minutes. That's what I did.
Yeah. I didn't want to start too low because then people were like, okay.
Spend 38 seconds, whatever it takes.
And you kill it. You don't have to go through that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It's overrated.
And it takes a lot of work, I feel like.
It does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People
It's
sit
not worth
there.
it.
I don't know what's worse. People sit there and talk about how like people that cheat are manipulators and they think low of women by like just using them for sex and everything.
Uh-huh.
But what's worse? I'm starting to have some introspection here. What's worse?
Yeah.
Someone that does that and manipulates these women for sex and and uses them, or a man that doesn't even want to take the time to talk to him. What's worse there? Like I'm like, oh, nope. Yeah, I would have an affair, but then I would have to fucking talk to her.
All right.
No, it's I don't know.
That bit's staying in for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to call myself a misogynist or anything, but
Of course not.
and I don't think that I am, because I think there's plenty of great women out there.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
You got to name off the few that you think are good.
That list is short, but at the
You got Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
that's it.
But like I've railed against this a million times, but like I'm sick and tired of like I hang out with my family all day, hang out with my wife, having a great time, and then I get on Discord and like I'm talking with my bros, my boys, and then there's just one fucking lady that's been invited to the group, not because she's funny, not because she's cool, but because she's a female. That's it, and it fucks up the dynamic of
100%.
of the room. It's like when if you're part of a bowling team and one guy brings his fucking wife, and you're just like, fuck, it's son of a. I said this and I thought this and I had like a like I had this idea of Sir Winter's girlfriend when he brought her to Seattle.
Wait, he brought her to Seattle?
Yeah, he brought it because he was too scared to make the flight by himself.
Right, okay.
He's scared of flying. I don't blame him, dude. He's like over the fucking Pacific. Like I'd be fucking freaking out too. Like the pilot should just come out and go, yeah, if we go down now, we're dead. It's just gonna...
everyone's dead, right?
There's
and
no
that flight
chance.
sucks. It takes like 14, 15 hours.
There's
I've done
no
it twice.
chance of us ever making it out of here. It's fucking. We'll be eaten by sharks by the time anybody comes to save us. But I was sitting there like I was thinking about that. Like the second I saw him, I was like, oh, he brought his fucking girl. God damn it. I was like so pissed off. And then I talked to her and she's cooler than he is. She's actually cool as fuck. She's
Can you
funny.
actually stay in Sir Winter? You can maybe head back. You can go over there.
Yeah. Yeah, she was cool as hell. And
okay, well, she's obviously one of the girls on the list.
She's a bro. Yeah, there's a couple. There's every once in a while you'll see one. I think what it is it's hard to find.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah, once in a blue moon. I think what it is it's young people. Like the guys in my Discord are usually young, like a decade younger than me, and the girls there are usually a decade younger than me. And it's like at that point they're just so fucking horny, like they just change their entire personality with the hopes.
Yeah, to try and get
that
in.
They can get in there.
They put the pussy on the pedestal, right?
Yeah. Not me, dude. I put the pussy in the gutter and kick it.
Whoa, okay.
No, and I think I don't know. I just see right through it. Like they start acting different and everything. I'm like, come the fuck on,
Yeah, it's obvious, huh?
Yeah, but there's like this girl that's been in the Discord from the beginning. Her name's Kinchi, and I feel like
the Korean food, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but I feel like she might be like asexual or something. Like has no interest.
So those guys have no chance whatsoever.
No, they change around her, but I've realized like they change around her, but she's just fucking laying in the cut regardless. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like she's just she's a bro. I don't talk to her because I don't think we have anything in common, but I acknowledge the fact that she stays the same throughout. She's just Kinchi the whole time.
Wow. Good for her.
Yeah. But every once in a while, do you have a significant other? Are you married or anything?
No, I'm not married. I have a girlfriend though. Yes.
Yeah. You what about you? Do you have a? Tell me about your cheating life. Do you?
Yeah.
How many affairs do you have going on?
Expose myself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much to share. I've been in a relationship for like 9 months now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Has she farted in front of you yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all happened. So at the start, it's like you hold it in, like
Yeah.
you'll give yourself like pains in the stomach just to hold back that far, and then you just hit that stage where you're just like letting it out all the time. You just could not care less.
Yeah. Huh.
But
do you have any
how long
plans
have
on
you
getting
been with
married?
your wife?
Hey, now I'm talking. I'm guy.
Fuck, I gotta sneak in these questions.
I'm getting into your personal life now.
All right, yeah, all right.
You any plans on getting married?
I mean, not anytime soon.
No. What's the longest
marriage
relationship you've been in?
Maybe like 18 months.
Okay. Can I give you a word of advice?
Please do. Yeah.
Okay, because I've only been in one relationship, so I don't have much to give.
Yeah. How did that work?
Okay, my turn to talk. Okay. All right. So no, this comes from because a lot of people ask me, like, I have like a therapy session, right, where I like we're gonna do one of those at the end here, but people ask me all the time about like relationship advice and stuff. And
of course,
but usually it's their inability to talk to women. So they're most 99% of you guys aren't going to get to this point. But if you do get to this point, this is something that I think my brother failed to realize. Because I feel like him and his wife are now getting into some growing pains, where they're having they're battling it out. They bought a house together and they're fucking they're at each other's throats 24/7. Okay, so when you start dating somebody, you're infatuated with them. You think it's the best thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're like into the heart of that right now with the 9 months, right? Like she could come up and take a shit in the middle of your dinner plate right when it arrives in front of you.
Wouldn't care.
And you'd be like, "Wow, that was fantastic. You see the way she shit on my food? That was incredible." And then that'll keep going until like 2 years, right?
2 years.
And then after 2 years, that starts to wear off. And then you start to realize that she does things that that fucking drive you insane. Like she'll, I don't know. She'll you know, like your hand towel that you have in the bathroom. When she's doing her makeup in the morning, instead of just taking like those things that are made for it, the wet wipes.
Yeah, and there'll be like makeup all over the towel.
She'll take it and put it on the towel.
Smudges.
Yeah. And you'll be like, dude, that's not reusable. Or that, I mean, I had to wash that, and now I have like mascara all over the fucking towel. It's probably gonna stain it. Or Abby's favorite thing was like, you know, my wife's kind of like well endowed breastically. And she would take her giant fucking circus tent bras and put them on the fucking doorknob to the doors. So when you'd go close the door, it'd get stuck in between the door frame and the door, and I'd be like, fuck! Yeah. Like that, I had like we never fight almost, but our big relationship fight was that. I was like, look.
Really? That was the thing.
I'm staking my ground right here. No more bras on the doorknobs. That's what's gonna fucking happen. Okay.
Okay.
That's what happened. No more of that ever. I'm done with that. That was I probably shouldn't have picked that as my fight, but I picked that. That was my thing. And
everybody gets one.
Yeah. And like once you look at them and you go, okay, I hate these things, but it's outweighed by my love for them. Yeah, I can put up with that. That's when you decide to go marry. Don't marry within the first 2 years, you fucking psychopaths. No. I get all these people like, I'm engaged right now and we've been dating for 3 months. What?
Yeah, I have a friend like that just got engaged.
Know what their favorite food is? Like after 3 months?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Give it a couple years. You don't have to do as long as me. I was dating for like 9 years before I popped the question. But
what?
Yeah.
What took so long? Were you like not sure?
Okay.
Was marriage something that you maybe didn't want, or was it?
No. You started dating in 7th grade, so I didn't want to be like married in high school. You know.
Yeah.
And you also have to keep in mind that men aren't done developing until they're like 24, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't want, like, through the times that we've been dating, we have both had like major personality shifts because we got to see each
Basically
other.
being different people.
Yeah, we've been seeing each other turn into adults, and we're at after we finished after we molted and turned into our final beautiful butterfly phase. We looked at each other and we're like, hey, I'm scared to go out there and find anybody else, so you want to shack up? We looked at each other and we're like, hey, we get along. Nothing wrong there.
I mean, you're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get married.
A true romance story.
Yeah.
A realistic one, though.
Mm-hmm. And so we stuck together. That's the end. It's not a Romeo and Juliet, but it's stable and sturdy.
Do you consider yourself a happy man?
Yeah. I would not consider my wife a happy woman. No, not because of me or anything. I think she's just naturally an angry person. She could be with fucking Ryan Gosling right now, sipping some fucking screwdriver on a beach somewhere, and she would still be fucking angry about something. She's one of those people that flies into a fit of rage if like a mosquito lands on her. She's like, "Fucking son of a bitch! Fucking mosquitoes are out here. We gotta go. Let's go the fucking side. Let's go inside. The mosquitoes are out. They are all over the fucking place. Why do we even have a screen porch? We have a screen fucking porch right here. Like, why are they inside?"
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Like, holy shit. And, I didn't realize how much like she was on edge all the time until we had a kid. And like the kid like crawls up on the coffee table and she's like, "What the fuck? The kid's on the fucking coffee table." She like
well, maybe that's why it works so well though, right? Because you seem like you're probably the opposite to that.
She came around the corner and she's laughing at me.
What are you saying about me?
Yeah, she's flicking me off now. Yeah. Admit it, babe. You're on edge 24/7. Yeah. She's like, "Oh fuck yeah." Doesn't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with me, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of laid back a little bit. She says that might be the part of the problem is that nothing really seems to faze me in terms of. Our daughter could be sitting there like holding a lit candle to the drapes, and I'll be like, "Yeah, look at her go. Wonder what she's gonna do next." That's my baby. Look at her. She's a scientist. She's gonna see what happens. Yeah. What about you? You have any plans on having kids?
Again, this is another conversation I had just today.
Yeah.
I don't know, the world's a fucking a scary place. I'm not real sure if I want to bring kids into this world, honestly.
You're falling for it, bro. You're falling for it. The world.
Well, it's 50% that, and I'm not sure if I really want to be responsible for another human being. That seems
I get that. You know what mine was? Is I didn't really want to have a kid, but I was more afraid of getting old at like 60 and looking back and going,
after you?
No, not that. I was afraid of like looking back
different pages.
And going, man, I wish I would have had a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that, but I'm also like worried about once I get old, who's going to be there to look after me and like.
Oh no, that's when you kill yourself.
Care of shit. Ah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
if you can't take care of yourself, it's often time. It's fucking.
It just seems like a lonely life without kids.
Yeah. Like after work, you have to have something else.
I want to skip that initial part where
the baby,
like the whole baby phase. Yeah. Okay. I wish you could just get them when they were like 3 or 4 years old.
As a guy that has had a baby, babies suck. Babies.
Yeah. I thought. Yeah, I had that feeling.
They suck. They suck so much ass. Oh god! If I could have a time machine, I'd go back in time and just fucking pop my kid right in the nose when they were a baby. No, I'm kidding. It's babies
I thought that was you pulling out.
No,
popping your baby in the nose.
Yeah, it's a quick punch, a little left hook, and then leave. No, babies suck. Toddlers are awesome because they're like exploring the world and everything. Like once they can start
actually
walking,
seeing them like become become someone.
Yeah, they have a personality, but before that, they're just drainers of emotional strength.
Right. And that's one. What happens once you have another one? Like, do you want another child?
Once again, I do want to have another kid because I want to I don't want to be 60 and look back and go, oh, I should have had more, you know. But that is outweighing my. It's one of those things where it's like I'll tough it out now so that my life is richer in the future. You know?
Yeah, it's like an investment.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. There's like all these YouTubers out there. You ever seen them where they're like, "Oh, I got burnt out." Have you ever been burned out before?
Not really.
Yeah, you know why? Because you got a life outside of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm done doing YouTube for the day, I turn around and I have my kid to play with. Got my wife to talk to. I do photography. I have a wood shop out back where I clumsily try to put together wood things, and they always look like dog shit. I have like a life outside of YouTube.
Right.
The people
and you need that.
The people that get burned out are the people that are just like, that's what they do.
Consumed by YouTube.
Yeah. And all they do is Twitter all day, and then record video, upload video, and then Twitch stream for 5 hours, and then wake up and do it the next day. It's like, dude, you can't be that one person. You're gonna get burned out on it. You have to split it up. And so while I have my family and everything, you got string attached to stick and put string in water. put string in water. Yeah. You know, which I don't see why you do that when there's Red Dead. You know, Red Dead has fishing.
It's Red Dead. Pixels aren't the same.
Yeah, they are, dude. Have you ever had that pixelated sunshine beating on your face? You know what I'm talking about?
Have you ever caught a fish?
Yeah, I've caught a fish. Yeah. But hey, you want to hear some real? This is gonna make you wince. I refused to take it off the hook. I was like, I ain't.
Oh, really?
I ain't gonna touch that fucking thing.
No, I know a lot of people like that though. A lot of people are like that.
I would rather be inhumane and just cut the line and leave that thing with the fucking hook in its face than touch it.
Yeah, I get like that with some things. Like you'll catch something real gross.
Yeah, you'll pull something. You don't know what you're gonna get. You're gonna pull something up, and it's like, this is a relic of the fucking Mesozoic era. I don't want to touch this fucking thing.
I've caught a lot of stingrays, and I don't want to get too close to them. Yeah. So I just cut the line. I'm like, I'm not pulling the hook out of this.
That fucking took out your national icon. I wouldn't be touching that.
Exactly. Yeah. Ever since that, don't go near stingrays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've caught some really fucking gross stuff.
And where are you in Australia?
I'm in Queensland.
Okay. Is it the bottom right-hand corner?
No, the top right.
Top right. Okay. Yeah. And that's. No, that's not. I was gonna say that's near the Great Barrier Reef, right? And that's as close as you can get to it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
have you seen that thing's fucking dying?
Yeah. They've been saying that for years now. Like it's all just slowly but surely dying and getting bleached.
Yeah, it's only like 30% of what it was in 1980 or something. And you see those pictures, and it's just white.
Yeah, it's just
crust.
Dead and white.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
It is. Yeah. Well, that's just people for you, though.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely destroying everything.
And then, it's only going to escalate because all they're going to do is, like, people are going to be like, oh, my God, I have, like, one opportunity to see the Great Barrier Reef. Let's go. And so there's going to be, like, a 1 square foot of it with, like, 80 divers around it, like, looking. And then they get in each other's way, and their flippers are beating up the coral and shit. And, like, the last 4 fish are going to be like, getting the shit beat out of them.
Yeah, that shit's sad.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, you know that movie. The only reason people realize you guys exist down there is that Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah. And Finding Nemo is like the most true thing in the world because they have like that movie. They start out and they're in the reef, and there's all this life and everything. And then his son, I forget what happens to him. He gets abducted by like a predator or something, child predator. And then he's gone. And and the dad's like, oh, I'm going to go look for my son. So he swims out off of the reef. And then there's just fucking nothing out there.
Nothing.
And
It's all dead.
I didn't realize that's what the ocean is. I thought like fish were evenly distributed across the ocean. But if you go out into the middle of the water and just put a fishing line, there's nothing there.
Oh yeah, there's nothing there.
It's fucking nothing.
Well, the ocean is terrifying though. I find the
Yeah.
ocean actually scary as hell.
Yeah, that's. Oh, you
And
want
like
to watch?
the creatures and shit that fucking live down there that look like aliens.
You were talking about like horror stuff, or like things that make you uncomfortable. There's a video of this guy sailing from the what's that place called? Well, it's like some marina on the west coast of California, and he sails to Hawaii, and
Okay.
I like cut to halfway through the video, and he's just by himself on like a 20-foot catamaran, and I cut to halfway through the video, and it is clear skies, no clouds, no wind, so his sails are wrapped up, and there's like 10-foot waves, and his boat is just getting thrown around, and there is no land in sight. And the guy has his camera on. He's like, "Yeah, it's getting pretty fucking scary out here." So I'm out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Boat's about to capsize, and I'm like, dude, like I didn't. I thought like once you got out, I thought Sea of Thieves was like just a. Yeah, I thought like it got like wavy when it got stormy. I didn't think like it could be dead
Everyone's
still.
learning a lot that you don't know much about the ocean at all.
Yeah. It was dead still. It looked like it was a desert out there, and then the waves were just like, they were throwing them everywhere. I was like, what the fuck?
And people choose to do that. People choose to do the most fucking stupid stuff ever.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine doing that? Just sailing, like, and people do like bigger ones. They'll sail from like Australia to Hawaii or America or whatever.
Usually they do it with people, you know, so at least you have a hand to hold while you die, you know, like someone to hug. This guy was by himself.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I would hate that.
Yeah. Although I have seen those, have you seen those ships where they have the gyro underneath in the hull? And so as like it gets like thrown to one angle, the gyro moves the other way, and so it keeps the boat stable.
Balances it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I would sail the world in one of those.
Yeah. They
also have the gyro pool tables where like as the ship moves, the pool table sits dead still.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. Okay, this is winding down. Do you wanna go to the last section?
Yeah, let's get to the last section.
We've been talking for fucking like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stalt's gonna have a fun time editing this one. All right. So anyways, okay. Let's see.
So gay porn thumbnails.
Yeah, no, not that. Okay, Sam's therapy time. I'm supposed to make an intro for that fucking therapy section at some point. Anyways, all right. So this one's a question from a guy that had a horrible medical issue.
Oh no!
And he asked to remain anonymous.
Okay.
He said, "All right, I need advice. I'm 19 and I was born all fucky. My pelvis got split and ripped. A lot of my internal organs down there. It got stitched back together and grafted, I guess, but with a few drawbacks. I have a really small bladder and an extremely short dick. That's where I need your advice. Do I have any chances of finding a girl if I have a 3-inch wiener? And should I apply for pricey surgery to extend it? The surgery would hit my budget hard, so I don't know if it's worth it. Question mark. What's your advice?
This is an easy one. This is an easy one to me, I feel. First of all, don't get any form of surgery to increase the size of your penis. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
I think a lot of younger people, especially when they think of sex or getting a girl or whatever, they think, I think it's unrealistic. You're not going to be doing what you probably think you're going to be doing or what you've seen. Look, you've got perfectly good hands. You've got a mouth. If your penis is only 3 inches, I don't think that's really a big deal. I feel like most women don't even really care about penis size anyway, so you're probably set there. And like I said, you don't have to just use your dick to be able to like...
You could use your foot.
Yeah, use your foot. Use anything.
Get in there.
So I really don't think it's like that big of an issue.
Did you hear about that billionaire guy that tried to get penis enlargement surgery?
No.
He was like I forget what he was. He was in the diamond industry, right? And he got this, and he had like
penis
a small cock.
diamonds.
And he was like, I'm going to use my billions to get a penis enlargement surgery. He went to like the most like the most expensive penis surgery guy in the world. 'Cause he had billions to spend, and he fucking died on the table. So,
what a way to go.
yeah. What would you rather be alive, or
Yeah.
with
I
a
mean, yeah,
tiny
exactly.
cock?
That shit is gonna like carry risks with it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Don't do anything like that. You'll be just fine.
yeah. I would just, yeah. I would say, how old are you right now,
Me,
Stimpy? Yeah,
26.
yeah. Oh, hey, we're pretty close.
Hmm.
I would honestly around 25 for me. I was just like that waned in importance a great deal.
Yeah.
Like my sex drive like took a slow down. I mean, like if my wife came around the corner and she was like, "Hey, you want to fucking romp right now?" I would be like, "All right, fuck you, Stimpy," and I'd leave. But but like
I
I'm
got
not
shit to
gonna.
do.
It's not gonna alter my
Right.
when you're 14 or something like that. It like alters your entire worldview. Like, dude, like
Yeah, and I
I
think
would
that's
cut
the
off a toe
issue.
to see a titty right now.
Yeah, like this dude's only what, 19?
Yeah.
Like, I think he probably has unrealistic ideas in his head of what it's gonna be like.
Yeah. Oh, like in like porn when they do when they're have you ever seen this where they're like having sex and then they like the guy ends up sitting like a frog and fucking, you know what I'm talking about?
Sitting like a frog. You might have to send me an image.
Yeah, like they like like imagine you just squat but then you have a
Right.
woman under you and you have your cock in it.
Right.
Have you ever
Yeah,
done
okay.
that during sex? Like
I've never done that personally, no.
nah, like you see it in porn videos. I did it one time. I was like, as soon as I did, I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
There's like 100 better ways to go about
Yeah.
it.
I realized I'm like, this only fucking probably, it doesn't even look good for the camera. Like, I just thought it was something
Yeah,
people did.
right.
I did it. I was like,
Yeah,
what
I
am I
suppose
doing
so.
here? This is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think me and Stimpy have concluded just cut the cock off at the stump and go on and be a chemist or something like that.
That's basically what I was
Yeah.
alluding to. Yes.
Take every disadvantage you have and make it a crippling disadvantage and then endure on. That's the spirit of human tenacity, is just being able to take something and drive through it. Like, what's that guy? David something Goggins. Have you ever seen that guy?
Oh, yeah, the dude that's like can do anything.
Yeah, he was like a big fat guy and he was like, I'm going to run
Yeah,
a 100-mile
that's
race.
Yeah,
And
I
he
don't
like
buy into that
shattered
shit.
he shattered his feet bones or whatever.
Wait,
he was
did he? I
running.
didn't know about that.
Yeah, he was
All I
like
knew was that
running and he
lost
like
weight.
he broke his fucking feet bones while he was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
I
guy's
didn't know that.
insane.
Yeah.
I struggle sometimes just to take a shit and my like legs fall asleep while I'm on the toilet and I'm like, this is struggle. But that guy that guy was a guy that was fatter than me and was like, I'm gonna run 100 miles. I get pissed when I have to drive 4 miles to the daycare, like, away from my house. Like, I can't imagine running that distance, let alone fucking 50 times that. Yeah. Anyways, I guess that's the end. Thanks for interviewing me, Stimpy. This has been really
Yeah, no
enlightening.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
I'm
to
sure
be able to interview someone else again in the future.
That's what you should do, is go on other people's podcasts and just
Yes,
interview
turn
them. Turn it
Flip
around
it.
on them. Like, these fucking
Good
people,
idea.
this is like episode 28 or something like that. Like, people already know everything there is to know about me. And you came in here and you're just like, how do you feel about that? Like, whatever.
Well, hey, I feel like you're a pretty interesting person, so I wanted to know more.
Am I? Am I
Yes.
really?
Absolutely.
No, not in a million years. You know who's an interesting person?
Who?
That, do you know that Swagger Souls guy?
Right, Swagger Styles.
I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna work to get my subscriber count up, to get noticed and everything. And then
I feel like I know where you're going with this.
I'm gonna get an invite to that fucking podcast and I'm gonna tear that fucking mask off his fat fucking head. Hey, welcome to Forehead Fables podcast. This episode features the eccentric millionaire libertarian presidential candidate John McAfee.
Wow. make you get naked, huh?
They have guns and they hold you.
Yeah,
at
but
gunpoint.
it's not like everyone, like when you walk out, it's not like a whole group of men are just gonna start pointing and laughing.
I bet there is like a fetish bathhouse like for humiliation where you just get laughed at by a bunch of women or men.
That would suck.
That should exist. I need to look that up. That sounds like that place for me. Honestly,
It does exist. I
Being
guarantee
laughed
it.
at.
Matt's already been.
Yeah, I have been. Yeah,
I've
but
been
I don't
to
want to talk about it.
I've been to a bathhouse as well. I went to Japan. I think I might have been, I want to say like 13 or something like that. Just like, and I went to a bathhouse with my father and my two brothers, which was interesting because I've never really seen my dad's penis before or my two brothers' penises.
This was
before.
your moment.
This was my big moment. I was like, I could not wait. I scheduled it in. I was counting down the days on the calendar. No, but it was actually not weird at all. Like I obviously didn't think it was weird because I was just a kid. It was just going to the bathhouse with the family.
You seem very like I was not excited to see my dad's penis. It was perfectly normal.
It was just
It was-
regular, like
It was a normal
like,
penis.
oh,
It wasn't huge or small. It was just a penis.
Just my dad's penis, and it was we've been closer ever since, and it's great. I hope to go to a reunion there someday.
Were you a bit jealous though?
Yeah,
Because you were 13.
I was jealous of all the other like men in the
Yeah.
bathhouse because
I still am when I go. So
right, just a lot of well endowed men there.
you're like,
Just
There are some people in those bathhouses though, which is like
it's like what the fuck?
the only reason you come here is to just stand there with your huge cock
Yeah,
and just
you know what
kinda
you're
look at your
packing.
watch, right?
Yeah.
I
This
think I
is
might
just-
go to a bath.
Yeah, interesting. Any other tales of travel, or I mean, we're really big on just telling kind of fucked up stories. We've already kind of told all of ours so far. We would love to get up some shenanigans with you guys sometimes. That would sound
Yes,
fun.
we would
please.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Any other?
We have quite the catalog of stories.
I guess-
I like the question. Do you have any stories that are interesting?
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
because that last one.
I-
that last one was
I was-
interesting
well,
enough.
I mean,
really bored.
we chewed up a bit of time there, but yeah, I was falling asleep.
I'm trying to remember. There's definitely times you and I have just been like, oh fuck, where there's been some situations we've gotten into where things have just been like against all odds, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
And to hear those, you just will have to listen to our podcast.
I guess it's an
Yeah,
unfair
I
question
guess.
when you guys have a podcast and you probably already told all of these stories on your own show, right?
There's a lot we haven't.
Yeah.
There's a lot we haven't
There's
told
a lot we
before.
can't.
Yeah.
What classifies like a story you can't, or I guess you can't even tell us that because
What classifies a good story we can't tell?
yeah, just illegal nonsense or perhaps
Not
something
legal
a bit
stuff.
too cheeky.
It's more of it's like
There's some of
too
its
personal.
privacy.
Yeah.
Sure,
And it's
sure.
like like that involves people that obviously don't want to be mentioned.
Sure.
Well, now that sounds like we're talking about like we're with a pedophile ring. No, it's like
It's not a
This
not a
Epst-
ring.
I mean,
it's
this
just
guy
it's
I
like
know.
a couple of guys.
Right. It's just a
Um,
casual thing on the weekends.
So my best friend was kidnapping a
Finn
child.
comes along.
It's the weekly billiard pedophile rally.
Of course, yeah.
hanging with our boy Jeff on his resort, and things got weird.
Exactly.
There's a lot of stories.
Sorry,
What?
Honestly, you should leave
Come
the
on,
show
Mike,
right
come on with
now.
the story.
Yeah,
I'll stay on
Yeah.
to the end though if you'll have me though.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
But don't drop that bottle
I'll
again
just-
because yeah, no. It must be a handful.
It's a crucial part of the set.
Yeah.
Yo, what's this? Sorry, real quick before we jump back into the stories. What's this?
Oh, this is a
Delicious.
product that we always forget to mention until the end of the podcast.
But we do love them dearly. It's gamersubs.gg.
Do they give you money?
Well, yes. I mean, that's not why we like them though.
I know.
It's and now the helmet's rolling around. No, it's a great product. It's gamer energy. It's a powder. You can put it in your drink. It's just caffeine.
So
clean.
like if I'm playing Fortnite, I pop
Give
a
it a little
few
lick,
Yeah.
spoonfuls
gum
of
it.
this,
Yeah,
Give it a little
exactly.
and
gum.
I'll be cranking 90s, right?
Yeah.
Look,
Give it a
mate,
little-
it's 0 calories.
0
It's
calories?
keto friendly, sugar free.
Don't have a whole scoop. Oh,
And
yeah,
most
there you go.
importantly, it's better than G Fuel. It's just
do
a
better
about
than
half
G
of
Fuel.
it.
Yes. it's
Is
much-
that their slogan?
Not legally.
it's their We're allowed to say it. They're not.
There you go.
There you go. Nice little scoop. I would only do
Genuinely
one.
really good. We actually
What
use
about
it.
just the powder? Because I don't have any water to put in.
Well,
Oh,
What if
here,
I
I have
just
some water
tasted
here.
yeah, you can taste the powder.
hold on. Let me.
Pop down the mic.
Oh, to
There
shake
you
it.
go. Audio listeners, you'll have to watch on YouTube if you want to see him hit this raw
You guys are
powder.
missing the good stuff. You're missing me mix up this water bottle with.
Only one.
Just one.
One?
Yeah, you'll be good.
That's some pussy shit. I always do too.
At our recent live show. Well, that's a heaped.
That's like two.
No, that's
no,
good.
go for it. Go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna be.
It'll be a little powerful.
You're gonna be gaming after this. Yeah, you'll be
Yeah,
gaming.
you will be gaming.
At our recent live show, Oh
No,
well,
yeah.
it's too late.
All over the mic.
You legally have to game.
Yeah, I mean
What's not?
that would be great if you would, but
That's really
it's
good.
really up to you.
Yeah?
It's good,
That's
hey?
actually really good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm not gonna
tasty.
lie.
No, we genuinely stand by it. It's a good
Way better
product.
than G Fuel.
That is
Yeah.
that is better than G Fuel.
Here we go.
Now we can use that tagline.
See, well, like we're not sponsored by G Fuel either, so we can say that. Like,
Yeah.
I've had G Fuel. I've had this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, you can tell the truth.
Right. Currently, G Fuel has this big deal they're working on. They're like, well, fuck those guys. We're pulling that from the table.
They're just about to send the offer. No.
This
No.
like massive contract, and like fuck those.
We had
Fuck
a
those guys.
we had a fan do a line of gamer subs at
Off
our
my
live show,
helmet.
which by the way, gamer subs does not recommend you consume the powder via the nostril. But he did indeed do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might have experienced a slight burning sensation. However, also had a great night as well.
Yeah.
Would you say?
He
was
slept
fantastic.
with. I heard he slept with 10 beautiful women.
10 beautiful women.
Yeah.
His cock
not in the
actually
Yakuza,
grew.
is he?
His cock grew like 5 inches after that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
People that drink gamer subs, their cocks do
No
grow.
shit.
I don't think you can say that.
Everything on this podcast
And
is
if you're a
true
woman,
and
your
correct.
tits grow too.
Again,
I feel like my tits are
allegedly.
growing
And you
as we
also
speak.
make more money substantially.
All right, we've now significantly
Yeah.
plugged gamer subs for 5 minutes. We can move back to our guests. Matt, I hear that you're working on some music right now.
I am. Yeah.
I'm curious about it. What's
I'm working on a little. You're the first person to ask me about this. Thank you. I'm working on a little EP. I don't really know how to describe. It's kind of like early 2000s electronic bedroom pop kind of sound. And I've never made like quote unquote real music before. But I've made a bunch of stupid comedy music, and people forever have been saying like, make real music, make real music. And I do like making music, so I figured like, fuck it, I'll try it out, see
Yeah.
how it goes.
You
And
wear
if-
the coat for a night, see how it feels.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. It might be horrible. It might flop, but I'm happy with it so far, and I'm hoping people will enjoy that when it comes out.
It's the kind of thing that, you know, like if you enjoy something, there's probably an audience for it, you know? So if,
Yeah.
if you
Absolutely.
There's an
genuinely
audience for anything.
enjoy it, then I'm sure it's great.
And
Yeah.
comedy seems like such a great way to get into learning music production and learning about without like looking like you're taking yourself too seriously, which I guess could
Yeah.
be an easy fear for like a new artist that maybe
That's a
already has a
huge fear.
platform. Yeah, 'cause
I don't want to be seen as like I'm like taking myself super seriously and like all about myself. I just want to make music that I enjoy, that I can have fun making and share with
Yeah.
people. But that being said, I've shown only like 2 people, so I don't know if I've shown Ryan a little bit. I've shown my roommates. I don't know.
Ryan hated it.
He seems very uncomfortable
Ryan
right
said
now.
it was probably the worst music he's ever heard.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that only inspires me to make better music.
That makes
It's
sense.
this weird thing because like I'll give you compliments, but I'll also always be like, for me, it'll always still be Matt.
Yeah,
know
I
what I
have the
mean?
exact same. See, one of the guys in the group is McCreamy J. He's a very good singer,
Mhm.
but whenever I hear him singing, I hear his voice, and
Yeah.
I can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Even though I know from what everyone said that he's really good,
Yeah.
I just can't get it out of my head about it.
Exactly.
I've known this goofy boy for so long. It's like,
Thanks, man. Goofy.
can y'all disagree with me on that?
I mean,
or-
I wasn't going.
I don't
to.
want
No comment.
I don't want to be part of this.
Thanks, man. Well, that's the thing is like I think a big fear of mine is I've always wanted to do this, but it's like people know me for making stupid fucking YouTube videos, so it's like
Very stupid.
very stupid. So like they're like I don't. How are people gonna take me seriously? I guess, and I fully
Oh,
understand that.
Filthy Frank and Joji.
That's true. That's
I
true.
guess.
But even he had a bit of a
Yeah, well, he had Pink Guy to kind
Yeah.
of do his comedy thing, and then
I mean, he's had a like insane career reversal. Joey
Oh
my
has.
God,
Like,
yeah.
going from
He's-
eating
yes.
vomit cake to being an actual pop star.
But he
like,
did it.
boom. Yeah.
He did it.
I think he's like, when you think of people transitioning from YouTube to something else, I think of like him being the one to kind of maybe not to set an example, but he's a perfect example of someone who moved from one medium to the next,
Yeah.
and still maintains the same level of success, if not even more.
he
success.
created the Harlem Shake.
I know.
He did.
People forget about that. He created the Harlem fucking Shake.
He didn't make the song, but he was
Yeah,
the
well,
one that
he was the one that popularized
the
the meme,
Yeah.
the
Right.
dance.
My goal is to be the first YouTuber to make the successful transition from YouTuber to shopping assistant.
Okay.
I want to do that at the supermarkets.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
Sort of like
And you'll be
dropping
just
off.
as successful.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I think.
It's a really poppin'
National
Instagram.
tour.
They'll have you on like Jimmy Fallon and shit to talk
Yeah.
about like
Comedians in cars.
The way you stack things in bags really badly is impressive, sir.
I used to bag things in grocery stores
Yeah.
You made the other transition.
back in the day.
He flipped it, yeah.
How long for?
About 2 to 3 years in between there.
That's a long time.
That's the job before I quit, dropped out, and moved out here.
Mm.
We're
Just
both
working
college
at a-
dropouts.
Yeah, you worked at a Chick-fil-A. I worked at a Food Lion.
What was your major?
Business.
Really?
Yep. It's because the college we went to, like, I wanted to major in something to do with film, but you can only get a minor in film studies, which they don't teach you how to shoot anything. They're just like, this black and white movie was made in the 19, that type of stuff.
to the moon?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
The General, all that shit. And so I guess I was minoring that, but the one that you would always go to if you didn't know what you were doing is just business management.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do stuff with media, but I was like, I can't get a job doing that, so I'll just do business.
I want to make money. Business. Sure.
Yeah.
It's
I
safe bet.
failed most of my classes actually. So.
Same.
No.
Yeah, I was
Business
too busy
is-
making YouTube videos.
Exactly. And then I
Business is
dropped out.
bad.
Yep.
Any
Yeah.
graduates here though from college?
No, I dropped out
No.
of my first year.
Dropped
Yeah.
out second year. After my
Mm.
second year, you dropped out
Second.
after
After my first.
Second.
After second, okay.
Mm.
I didn't go to a uni, but I have like a film. I have some sort of diploma.
I have
or
a
some
sheet of
shit.
paper that says I watch
Yeah.
movies
I
sometimes.
don't know.
Were either of you guys drama kids, or did you like go on stage a lot or entertain growing up?
I liked going into drama. I just never liked going on stage, so I would always just be like sign up for drama 1 and then never go on to drama 2, because drama 2, their final project, you have to perform a play.
Right.
But I was lucky enough to be invited to like the drama 2 field trips to go to Disney World and shit.
right. So you like
'cause-
the drama? You just got stage fright, or
Yeah,
It might-
I just don't trust myself to memorize lines.
Oh, that
on
shit's hard.
stage.
We
Yeah,
both. I
dude.
mean, we do live shows and we fucking get so nervous before each one.
yeah, we're just starting to get into that as well. We were actually supposed to do 2 live shows this trip, but
We were
they
supposed to do one last night.
but they got canceled due to last minute visa issues, which
Oh,
is very,
damn.
very unfortunate.
Yeah, we
Have-
literally found out about the visa issues on the day that we flew to America.
Yes, very
Fuck.
disruptive day.
Yeah.
But do you have any advice for us for the live shows as far as getting into it?
We're the
I mean,
wrong people to go to for advice.
Do you guys do you guys just wing it, or do you plan?
Yeah,
or-
we
For us,
fully wing it.
Like I would say the less comfortable I ever felt was when we tried to plan it to a T.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if we gave ourselves more room, we found that we would generate bits ourselves, and then they would. It's kind of like you test it out with the audience, where it's like maybe one bit didn't work, we won't use that next
Right.
episode or next show or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all about just kind of just vibing with whatever you like. Your audience likes you for a specific reason. Just do that.
yeah,
That's what we did. We I think we put a lot of thought. We still put a lot of thought into our stuff, but I think we put too much thought into like what we should do for the show. Or we're just like, let's just make some.
Yeah,
shit.
because at the end of each night, it would just turn into us getting drunk on stage and riffing with the audience and just fucking around with each other.
yeah,
And it doesn't feel professional, but I guess that's what people enjoy
Yeah.
seeing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you just kinda
we've
go
had
and be
some
yourself.
Fuck a
bad reviews,
panel. Yeah.
even from fellow YouTubers that
We've
say,
had a couple
that say
bad
our
reviews.
live shows suck.
Have
Which
they-
I don't disagree.
Of
you know,
course,
sometimes
I
they are.
wouldn't go watch I wouldn't go see my own live show. I wouldn't watch my own content.
You hear that,
in terms
guys?
Of like
Yeah.
my Let's Plays, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a fan of myself, so
Yeah.
I'm always bewildered that I do have some sort of fan base.
I can very much relate to that as like a quote unquote influencer, which is an awful word, but I've always felt like I never understood why what I'm doing is worth anyone's time. You know what I mean? Like, why would you watch this?
But
like,
you just
why-
keep doing it
you keep-
because
it's working, and
working,
you
yeah.
know the feedback feels
and I like
nice.
doing it. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. It's interesting though. Like, yeah, it's almost like I'm afraid of having the ego of like being in love with my own work. That just
Totally,
doesn't sound
yeah.
like a good thing to me. You know?
Well, there's that. I think there's that extra level you can take it where you feel like everything you do must be perfect, and
Yeah.
therefore everything you do is perfect because
You
you
have
have this
to-
weird mentality. But
You
I
have to
feel
hate
like
your
as long as you
project
just
to
remain
truly
yourself.
love it. You have to hate.
Yeah.
You have to hate the process and then love the result.
I guess. I mean, you can definitely enjoy the process still, but I don't know. It's complicated.
The way I feel it is like, I don't know. I know Ryan and I deal with this. I don't know if you guys do, but it's like you'll wake up at 3:30 in the morning and you'll start thinking about it. And you're like, why the fuck do people watch us? Like, there's talented creators out there,
Yeah.
and like our time is short because we're definitely not among those people. And it's like We just got
Surely
lucky.
not. Surely not. I feel like everybody deals with imposter syndrome like that.
Is that what imposter syndrome
Yeah,
is?
like feeling like
Okay.
you're like you don't belong there, that you're faking it, and that
Mm.
you don't belong around everybody else. But everyone feels that way. It's all bullshit.
Because we're all just making shit.
Yeah.
It's like with how many people have found success on YouTube. It's like why not?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not like why not do I deserve this? It's just like I get I guess I was lucky enough to find an audience. Partly of that is through we found an audience mainly through working and collaborating through other channels, but we were lucky enough to also build our own audience
garner
through
our own.
that.
Yeah.
Because there's those channels where it's just like you see they were built off of someone else's popularity, and then
Mm.
right after they stop kind of going on that channel, they don't have any viewers or
Yeah.
subscribers, and so that was a big fear for us coming from Mark.
Yeah,
and
because
Right.
we worked with
Game Grumps.
Markiplier, one of the biggest YouTubers,
Yeah.
and then we went on to
Yeah.
Game Grumps, who were also very big. So we were like, oh shit, like when we go off on our own, can we sustain that?
Yeah.
And luckily, we have such a supportive fan base that people have been able to help us out, and they follow our content and stuff to get us to this point, and we're eternally grateful for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting what we do.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really great that there's just so many opportunities to create things and share it and gain an audience for it that you can kind of afford to keep things very casual and sort of messy if you want to, or just sort of that's kind of our whole brand. Our whole brand is scuffed. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, which is kind of a weak excuse because it means we can just get away with being a bit sloppy, but
Well, we're
it's
the same
also-
way.
it's also like we don't really want to be trying to be perfect all the time, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're very
Uptight.
sorry. We're very like nervous about turning into this corporate
Corporate is
Yes.
gay.
thing.
So bad.
I agree.
See, as
I
long
agree.
as you
I
say
hate it.
stuff like that, you'll be
You're
fine.
good. Yeah.
dude.
No, we don't want to be like. Of course, as you do this stuff, it grows into a business. Like you guys and us, there is the business side where you reach a certain point where you need to be actually like
A
hiring
business,
people
like,
to do.
for
Yeah,
legal
it's a real
reasons.
business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because the IRS exists and stuff like
Yeah, you
that.
have to pay taxes.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, we never wanted to be like a business. We always wanted to be that kind of unprofessional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be
Yeah,
a
dude.
corporation.
Fucking around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when it's
No
fun.
HR department. Just fuck it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Definitely no
Fuck
HR department.
I want Ryan to be
You know?
able to show me his
Fuck it.
penis anytime during the workday, and I don't have to report it to
Yeah, man.
anybody.
Let's do
vice-
it.
Same thing.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay, this is wholesome.
We see each other's penises at least once a day. And
Good.
that's not a
Really?
joke, yeah.
Either on FaceTime or a photo or just around the house,
Usually around the office, yeah.
or the office. Yeah.
Just whip it out for
We
fun.
have. That is weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I was about to. Sorry, I know that's. What was you talking about? But I was just thinking. I was like, have I sent Matt a dick pic? It's like I guess I technically have. We have sent
Oh,
each
we
other
both have,
nudes.
absolutely.
Is this
before.
gonorrhea or should I be concerned? Or?
We would take these this is incriminating. We'd take these selfies where we'd be at like a urinal pissing, and you'd put the camera like
Like
underneath.
right where your like
So it's
dickhead
like
is.
you're like
So
smiling in
you
the
see
background.
the stream and your smile.
But you see
and
like
your
the cock in
dickhead
the
at the same
foreground
time.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you just get like the shadow of the cock in the photo.
No, you get the cock in the photo.
Oh, you get, of course.
I don't think I've sent you this angle. I want.
We'll talk about
it's
this
it's a
later.
really good angle.
Let's make a group
Yeah,
chat. Send it to us as well.
It's,
Yeah, dude.
it's the same thing with a urinal, except you shoot it from back here, so it's
Oh.
the back side of your
Oh,
cock
so
and
it's your-
balls at the urinal.
Just like a
Nice.
slight looming ball sack.
Yeah. It's really good.
I guarantee like Russia has all of this on a database somewhere. They're just waiting. They're like, we will release this. At the end of the day, though, there's like
Those would be great if those leaked out.
if that
That'd be
got
amazing.
leaked, that's not the end of the world. And that's not encouraging people to hack me and leak it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying if it did leak,
Well, you see people like Eric Andre or even Chad, where it's just like
Chad likes to
there's-
post his penis.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
he
like
fucking posted a
small
photo
penis.
wearing my helmet, covering up like one of his tattoos, and he's fucking small cock and balls around, and people actually think it's me. People tweeted it in my mentions, and you can just see the Kappa tattoo on his arm, which disproves it. But still, dude, like
That's genius.
some fucking idiot is gonna
I'm
report
sorry.
on it.
Chad's a complete idiot. That's really smart though.
Oh,
That's-
dude, I was pretty upset with him because he
That's-
posted his
Were
he
you
posted it
legitimately
he
upset?
posted
He
it
was.
first
He was
with
complaining about it for a
yeah,
while.
he posted it first with his cock, like a cock and balls there. Like if it was just like him shirtless,
and that shit's
fine.
small too. Like
Yeah,
Chad has a very
But
small
like,
penis.
I don't want people thinking my cock looks like that.
Why not?
It's pretty underwhelming.
Just love
Well,
yourself,
do-
Swagger.
Have you made sure to tell people on the podcast, or whatever, what your cock actually looks like?
It's
So
pretty, yeah, it's pretty useful.
I describe mine as
Did you just describe your dick as pretty useful?
It is,
it's like
Interesting.
borderline average.
dude. Sometimes
and
my
what-
dick gets me into tight spots.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
And-
Chad
or
certainly
out of-
doesn't.
Out of tight spots as well, or just in? You get in and then you just can't get out.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, was that a really?
It was a pun.
People call me mean when I say this, and I'm sure Chad will see this. Chad does have a small penis.
Yeah.
And that's not
He
a
has
secret. He
small
posts.
penis, but it's
Apparently he's a
flaccid,
grower,
I
though. He
guess.
tells me.
That's what he always says. Oh, I'm
Is
a
he a
grower. I'm a
grower?
grower.
I think he actually is.
Has he?
I have seen his erect,
Erect
cock.
penis?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him personally. He shows us videos of him fucking girls.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to yell like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Is
we're
he
traumatized
public
too.
about that shit? Is he?
Yeah, he
No, Chad's-
has.
Yeah, bro. I just fucking fucked the chicks, mate.
The thing.
Well, he does, but we were at a bar the other night, and he pulled out a video of him receiving oral. Just
Yeah,
showed
he's
it around the
getting
bar.
some fellatio.
Look at this! Look at this!
I was in a Del Taco in Hollywood. He was like, "Hey, bro, check this out." And I was just like, "Dude, why are you showing me this in a fucking Del Taco? Like, I don't care to see this."
Yeah.
Well, the
I
weird
love
thing
Chad.
about that dinner is that he showed us that video, and then the woman who sucked his dick actually arrived at dinner, and we had to introduce ourselves and
That
spin
was
it.
so weird.
That's wrong on so
Hey.
many
Honestly, it
levels.
was. I mean, he asked her first. Like, he was like, "Hey,
Oh,
can I show
okay.
the guys this?" And she was like, "Weird, but okay."
Okay, well that's different. That's okay. But
yeah, Chad's just a very sexually open person.
Chad's an interesting guy, and I saw his
love Chad.
penis when I was in Australia too many times.
Yep.
Because he decided for some reason to crash at our Airbnb, even though he had a perfectly good house to sleep at.
Yeah, even though he, lives in Melbourne.
Have you heard him snore before?
Yeah.
Well, he stole the bed one night, and I had to sleep on the couch,
What
even
the
though he has a perfectly
fuck?
good
There's a
bed,
good-
like a few miles away.
And there's a good couch in the living room, but he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come sleep in bed with Matt tonight or with Ryan tonight." And Max described it the best. Max said it sounds like a pig, like foraging for trouble.
It does.
He's like when he snores.
I thought he was fucking with you to just gotta like get you irate.
And
but,
I was laying there. I was like, "This can't be real, dude." Like, and then I just had to go ahead and sleep on the couch.
Man,
What a character, you
I,
know.
I think some of our best podcasts end on a good penis talk. They always seem to end.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
There's
has-
been frequent guest podcasts that have
yes,
had vast penis talk.
that's right. But it's interesting, and it's personal,
fantastic.
and that's what the Misfit Show is all about.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, you guys keen to wrap it? Is there anything you guys wanted to bring up or promote, or please feel free to shout out your Twitters or your. all that
Yeah,
kind of
I
stuff?
guess check out our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Super Mega. It's one word, and we got a podcast on Spotify.
Super
Yeah.
mega cast.
Yeah,
Hell
Definitely
sick
vouch.
name.
I was just saying to Matt before that, right when we started this podcast, I sent these guys the Super Mega podcast as like an example of how a good show is run. Because I just
Yeah.
really enjoyed the way you guys riffed off each other and the way
Really?
you guys
Very good.
improv.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I'm
See the
yeah.
imposter syndrome sinking in. I'm like, thank you though. That means a lot. And Matt H Watson on Twitter, and
You forgot.
What?
Have you forgot your at?
Forgot what?
Your at.
My at.
at
Oh,
Ray William Johnson.
Eli. Well, my at's so weird because it's Eli Rye McGee. ELIRY MAGEE.
Who's
that?
That's my ad on everything.
Just Google Ryan McGee.
Yeah,
Yeah, just look up Ryan
that'll
McGee.
pop up.
It'll come
That should be easier.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
No,
you for having us.
thank
This
you
was
for coming
very
on.
fun.
Let's get
Great.
some McDonald's.
Let's
get some McDonald's, yeah.
We'll see
Alright.
you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Do you mind if I take a little bit to think real quick?
I mean, critics loved Suicide Squad, and I loved it too.
Oh, okay. Critics kind of give a pass, and a lot of people give a pass, and I see a lot of love for Marvel movies, Ant-Man, and all this other stuff. I'm not really that interested. I liked Iron Man. The first Iron Man was really good, I thought. But everything else just seems kind of bland, and a lot of it is boardroom
like cookie cutter superhero shit.
Yeah, but the writing in it's, I guess, quick and witty, and they have jokes, so it distracts people a lot, and it makes them go, I like these characters.
Yeah, to be honest, I really don't. I have never been into superhero movies, ever. I've never really liked them. They've
There's
just
some
never
good
been
ones. Kick-Ass is
Oh, I like
fun.
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass is good. There's a movie called Super with Rainn Wilson that I enjoyed. It was just different. He's basically told by Jesus to be a superhero. He's crazy, so I don't know. Give it a watch. Give it a watch if you're interested. I definitely think that's something you should at least look into because it's a smaller film that didn't get a lot of recognition. And whether you think it's good or not, I feel like more movies like that should be seen instead of shitty ones that are in the theaters and get more publicity, like Suicide Squad, which is now a fucking Oscar-winning film for makeup.
Good job, Suicide Squad.
Yay!
Those temporary tattoos sure did win that Oscar, didn't they?
Yeah.
Also, that actually might be a very interesting episode of one of our movie reviews where it's an episode where we talk about a movie that critics hated that we liked, and then we each take a movie the critics hated we liked, and then a movie that critics loved and we hated.
I'm trying to think of, there's definitely...
That'd be an interesting, if we sat down and thought about that more, that might be an interesting movie review episode.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, movie reviews are...
coming soon.
Yeah, we're actually...
sooner than you think.
Legitimately working on that now for the first time.
We just need to buy something for the set, go out and view something that we want to review, kind of get a format all laid out and finished, get branding for it finalized, and it'll be ready to release. But that'll take a little bit of time.
Especially because we're both going to be out of the country. Like, pretty much all of March, we're not going to see each other. We're going to be on different sides of the world. But don't worry. Like I said, there will still be content all those days we're gone. So it's like we never even left. You won't even notice. And we do have more one-offs coming soon. For those who have been missing one-offs, we have some one-offs planned.
So we're enjoying the series we're doing.
Yeah, we really are enjoying the series we're doing.
I've already started another one.
Yeah, you have. There's already multiple episodes edited and finished and everything, and then I'm about to start a new series too. Because guess what? By the time, as of this podcast coming out, tomorrow is a very special day because tomorrow is the finale of 50 Cent Blood on the Sand with Ding Dong and Julian.
Oh yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Yeah, tomorrow is the finale.
That's where it all ends, baby.
That's crazy. Also, tomorrow is also the release of the Nintendo Switch.
Nope. Oh, yes! Sorry, I'm like, I keep having to do the math because you go, tomorrow is, I'm like, no, it's not.
I'm thinking of the perspective of
yeah.
when this comes out. Tomorrow is the Nintendo Switch dropping, so we're going to be very busy tomorrow. And we've already actually...
We won't be able to get the sick ad revenue talking about the Switch.
Maybe we'll find a way to record a Switch video before it comes out, because we've actually been, there's a couple of them around the Game Grumps office, so we've been messing around with the Nintendo Switch. We've played a little bit of the new Zelda game. Last week we played a little bit of Breath of the Wild.
But I'm staying away from watching it or playing it anymore because nothing else. Nope. Can't say shit.
But I can say, as someone who, I was, to be honest, very skeptical. I was optimistic but skeptical of the Nintendo Switch and what Nintendo was going to do with this one. I do have to say, after playing the Switch, it is a fucking incredible console. They really knocked it out of the park with this one.
I will save like my finalized opinion, but I'm going to latch on to you here and kind of fan a little bit. This is a console.
It's like revolutionary.
Well,
I was amazed.
It took them a little while to get there, of course, with the Wii U and stuff, but it's a console that can play these games that look beautiful. It's an actual, it feels like a console in of itself, and they've mixed their wonderful kind of mobile marketing, their mobile
wireless controller technology.
Yeah, well, wireless controller technology, but also when I think of the DS, they're starting to merge these things to where gaming on the DS, it's not going to be looked at as they're less graphics and it's whatever. They're turning mobile gaming into a legitimate fucking thing with actual games, actual third-party exclusives and stuff that people like and won't be abandoned like, I don't know, the PS Vita.
Oh, it looks... seriously, the screen on the actual Switch itself, it's beautiful. Like, the frame rate's great. It looks amazing. I was shocked when I saw it. The first time I held the Switch and I played it, and I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, the Zelda game, and I looked at the screen. I was shocked by how good the graphics were on this tiny little screen.
Because I remember on the Wii U,
Yeah, it wasn't. It was good, but it was like, this is like a whole nother level.
it
from
looks
the Wii U.
really nice on the pad.
And then how you can click the Joy-Cons off, and you can prop up the Switch somewhere else, and then I can just play with the Joy-Cons. It's a truly versatile console.
I'm
It's
definitely
amazing.
gonna have to get the Pro Controller.
Oh, I will too, yeah.
I've already bought a case that's gonna come.
I did
'cause
too.
We're getting our consoles the day it comes out. It's gonna be delivered to our apartments, and the moment we get that notification, we're headed home.
You okay? Burp. Spit it out. Spit it out.
Anyways,
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to leave work early Friday. The moment I get that
Yeah.
text message saying, "Hey, your package is here," I'm zipping on out. We're going because they should get here around the same time.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited for a console since the 3DS.
the only thing that is just, I know Zelda will last me a long time. I know it will, but I just wish that other games were coming out as well. And I'm not talking about new Switch games. I'm talking about mainly not Switch exclusives, but the ports that are coming over, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
I wish that was just coming out on day one.
I know,
just like
I
the
know.
deluxe versions of games, or Binding of Isaac. I wish that was a release.
It
on
was.
day
It
one.
was slotted to be a launch title, and they pushed it back like last week. They were like, "Oh, we need to actually push it." Which, I mean, I guess if Edmund McMillan and the people that make that game need more time, that's perfectly fine. I just wish it could have been a launch title.
Yeah, but you're not getting. You forgot to pre-order Zelda.
I don't have any games pre-ordered, so come Friday, I'm probably gonna be rushing to some Best Buys or something, trying to find a
You need to
copy.
start.
of...
I told you, you got to start looking now to see if you can pre-order it from anywhere: Target, Best Buy, Walmart, just
Yeah.
wherever.
Because it's gonna suck if I get the Switch and then I have no game. I want to get snipper clips, but I mean it's not a full game.
Think about it. If the Switches are going out, that game's gonna go out almost just as fast because there's not gonna be another game out to buy for the Switch, really.
Yeah, it's the new Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
I'm excited for a few things. I'm excited for the games they're going to announce at E3. Hopefully,
Wait,
Pikmin 4.
They're not doing E3 showings anymore. Don't they have their own thing?
Yeah, but it happens during E3. They have their
Okay,
own little
yeah.
event, their live stream. So I am excited for this E3 because I think a lot of great Switch titles are going to be announced.
I hope.
Like
I need to bring back all the big names, and that's that. If they did that, if they were smart like that, because it seems like they were holding back. They were holding back a lot
With the Wii U, yeah.
definitely.
there's no Animal Crossing for the Wii U. There's no. Oh, there's a Pikmin. Never mind. But it seems like they did hold a lot back for the Wii U. And it seems like now they're kind of
What was Pikmin?
Pikmin 3.
Was for the Wii? Was a Wii for the Wii U, or was it originally?
It was
on
for the
some-
Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I mean, Miyamoto said the Pikmin 4 was almost done, and that was like a year ago. So I'm sure that they've kind of shelved it to refocus it to the Switch. So now after it releases, I hope that they can start announcing things about Pikmin 4, maybe a new Animal Crossing, because I love Animal Crossing. Maybe they'll finally port Mother 3 to the Switch. I'm sure that'd blow everyone's fucking mind.
Thinking about Odyssey more, I'm actually excited for it because it seems more like of the world exploring games rather than just
Follow a path, and like old other Mario games.
yeah.
Just
So
follow a straight path kind of thing.
yeah,
Jump over this.
I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm hoping it's good because the other Mario games similar to that were really
Holy
fucking good
shit.
and are known as classics. So
The map, the world in the new Zelda game.
it's huge.
Huge. It is fucking massive. And it's very, very nice. That's all I'll say. 'Cause I just don't know technically what we're allowed to say, what we're not allowed to say, so we'll just keep it at that.
Okay, you know
Get
what?
excited. It's worth it.
We're done jerking you off, Nintendo. We're done.
All right. You can just go ahead and send the check. Please.
How-
Please.
Please. We've played some of your games.
Hey, we
Nintendo.
also need podcast advertising, so if there's anyone out there that has a company and they're like, yeah, podcast, maybe shoot us an email.
Oh, it's
It's be a bunch of shitty companies like, I have an app development company.
It's gonna be kids in high school that have a business club that for a class project have to come up with a business.
No, we're
thing.
talking like actual advertisers. We'll advertise you on a podcast in exchange for cash goods.
Or
Little
Other
sucky,
goods.
fucky. You know what I'm saying?
sucky, fucky.
It's fucking racist, Ryan.
No, I was quoting a movie.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, that was a quote from Full Metal
Give me
Jacket.
$10, I suck you and fuck you. That's not what she said.
It's so aggressive. Fucky,
Well,
sucky, sucky.
Vietnamese is aggressive. Have you listened to it?
It's just like I walk by. It's like, hey, you look kind of pretty today. Sucky. Ah!
Who the fuck listens to Sixpence None the Richer?
What? Who's that?
It's that band. It's one of those one-hit wonder bands that just kiss me under the bearded barley.
Is there anything? It's only Kiss Me that I see. I see nothing else.
Yeah, because that's one of those
Like,
bands.
I looked it up on YouTube. Oh, maybe it's because I typed in Kiss Me. Okay. Sixpence None the Richer. Sixpence None
What
the
kind
Richer.
of band?
Kiss
Such a
Me.
weird band name. I don't know why I just thought of that. I was just thinking. I just thought of that band. It just occurred to me. When's the last time you?
What's this song? What do you think?
And she just zip, and she unzips her face, and she's just a Vietnamese prostitute, like a beautiful Vietnamese woman.
I wouldn't change. I would say you've been acting like an asshole. If you were,
Why have you been? You know what she does that bothers me? It's when we drive by her, she ducks her head down to your level, so it's like she looks in the window. You know, she looks in the
Yeah.
window when you drive by, and she never just she doesn't just look. She looks with a very like aggressive, agitating, like kind of. It's like she's trying to get you to fight her. She looks in the window with this very just.
she's always sizing people up.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
get the feeling that she's sizing everyone she looks at up.
It looks like she's very cocky and she's ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Like just driving by, and every time we drive by, I do something. Like she'll stare at me, and I'll pretend to be really scared when we drive by.
Wait,
I did that
really?
today. I put my hands on my head, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Mamma mia!
Confirmed. Matt from Super Mega bullying a homeless woman.
She bullies him.
She's mean. Yeah, but she's homeless. But that doesn't change. If you're homeless, it doesn't mean you can't be an asshole.
Speaking from a place of privilege, Matt, I don't think you're gonna win this argument.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck
enter,
me.
enter.
As a privileged white male, as a privileged cis white male, I'm sorry, guys. I retract my statements about Ming. If you're homeless, you have the full right to be an asshole, and being an asshole isn't just something that you shouldn't do as a human. If you're homeless, you have the right to be an asshole. Ryan,
Yeah.
I'm gonna change the topic.
Okay.
Will you buy my DVD player from me?
No. This is a big revolution in gaming.
The Switch?
Portable, Switch. Well, I'm just looking at everything with the PSVR and other stuff like the Vive,
Yeah.
and now we have the Switch, and our phones are also big systems. Like
For
mobile
gaming.
gaming is huge.
I wish that
used to-
mobile gaming was more legitimate. Like, I wish they made better mobile games, because mobile gaming got drowned out by the shitty, fast cash grab apps. They're filled with these pieces of shit apps and games made by these like shitty little app development companies that they don't care about what they're making. They're not trying to make art. They're not trying to make something that they put passion into. They're trying to make some shitty thing that uses recycled graphics to make money, and you have to buy things, and there's a million ads.
And they have what are the titles? If I name an actual game, know that I'm not automatically calling out that developer, but it's the titles that are like Game of War or Total War Destruction.
All of
shit
those
like that.
games, I don't know. Have you seen the picture before where every single one of those games, the icon is a man screaming?
Yeah,
It's like all of them. It's a man screaming. Next time you look at a war game, it's gonna be a dude screaming.
I remember this. Have you seen an app where it's like this short guy and he has this big bushy blonde mustache and he has like a little hat and he's like angry? It's like a war game. Oh, let me
Clash
see if I
of
can,
Clans.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Clash. Okay, yeah, that's one of them. Isn't it?
Clash of Clans was the big one. That was the big one. I don't know.
It got a lot of backing from like celebrities and stuff.
No, Clash of Clans was
Okay,
huge.
Kate Upton was the one celebrity that I remember.
That was a
did
huge game. I don't think that was. I don't think Kate Upton did Clash of Clans. She did Game
What did
of
she
War
do?
or
She
whatever.
did Game of War.
I think so.
Whatever.
I mean, I might be
How do
getting
you
all these
keep up
names
with
wrong.
this
It's all
shit?
Clash of War, Game of Clans. I
They
don't
do
know.
that on purpose, so you can't remember them to give them a bad review.
Yeah, and also so you'll if they
delete
make
it
it
and be
similar
like,
to the
"Fuck."
big one, people accidentally download theirs. I mean, they're like, oh, this is it.
If we just make them bland, we figured out a Call of Duty's structure.
We figured out
Pretty
modern
fucking
game
fast.
development structure, make it bland and similar to the rest. Also,
They're trying to hide it a lot more. It was very apparent back in like 2012.
Flappy Bird era when it was just like Flappy Wings.
Yeah.
Flying Bird.
No,
you
it's
know?
probably just as bad. I just don't look in games anymore.
Well, we might start doing a little series soon related to shitty mobile games. So keep an eye out for that.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe. But I had a friend who spent like hundreds of dollars on Clash of Clans.
Why?
It was Jose. I'll name
Was it
drop him.
Jose?
Jose spent hundreds of dollars on Clash of Clans.
Jose, you fucking idiot! Are you kidding me?
He really did. Hundreds of dollars on Clash of
Is he
Clans.
asleep or at work right now?
I'll call him right now.
If you call him, can I talk to him?
Let's get a live interview with Jose and let's hear his thought
There's
process.
no
on
fucking way.
Call Jose.
Your call has been forwarded.
Damn it!
Fuck you, Jose.
Jose, it's only
Is not available.
it's only 12:35.
Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up
I'll leave him a
or
message
press
then.
1 for more options.
We'll see what happens.
Hey Jose, it's me, Matt, with Ryan. We're recording an episode of our podcast right now, and we're talking about Clash of Clans. And I remembered that you spent like a couple $100 on Clash of Clans, and Ryan and I are just baffled and wondering why you did that. So, if you'd like to defend yourself on next week's episode, if you'd like to come on for a phone interview and tell us what your thought process was when you spent a couple $100 on a mobile game, we'd love to hear it. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay. So hopefully, guys, in next week's episode, you'll get to hear from our good buddy Jose, who is the other guy from my very first video, We Sell Drugs. He's that guy. God, I love Jose. I miss him.
Why don't you marry him?
No, Ryan,
It's legal now in every state.
No, it's not.
In every single
It's not legal
state.
in my heart.
You'll be in my heart.
You know where it's not legal? The moon, because ISIS took it over.
God
Fucking
damn it.
ISIS!
They
Stop
keep,
it!
They keep throwing people off of the moon. What if you could just throw people
Just
off,
kick
of
them off the moon.
Like legitimately, like kind of like a walking off the plank scenario, but on the moon.
You just you fall into space?
Yeah.
If you could like just fall into the sky and you think time would pass me by?
Good one.
But we gotta get Jose back out to California, and we gotta get him on the podcast. He's a very interesting young man. Very nice, very funny dude. But yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode of Super Mega Cast. Next week is episode 34. It's gonna be real fun. Gonna have a good time. Maybe
unless one of us dies, and then there's not gonna be an episode 34.
God damn it! Don't say that, because you know how it's gonna happen. Because like you said, we live in a simulation.
Oh, I gave them Getting all cocky.
Shit, I didn't mean to hit you with my belt.
Almost hit me in the head with a belt.
Good way to start.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to the Super Mega Podcast.
That's us.
That's them. I'm joined with my guests Matt and Ryan.
This is the host Ross.
Russ.
Thanks for
Super
joining us,
Mega.
Ross.
You're
Ross
welcome. Thanks for
O'Donnell.
keeping my channel warm. For
Just
these
kind of getting it
past
started
2
right
years.
away. Oh,
Wait.
what, Matt? What are you
push my
doing?
mic back
What do you
more.
mean you
This is
roll it back?
unprofessional. Why am
Sorry, I
here?
gotta move my
Wait,
mic back.
How old is Super Mega now?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
It's not even a year old. Can
Really?
you believe
I
that's
said
still a
2
little
years.
baby?
It feels like 2 years.
Does it?
Yeah.
Is that a
feels like
good
2
thing or
years.
bad thing?
No, I mean
Like it feels so long.
It feels like time has slowed down because we're working
Have
more.
we started the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, shit! I
Calm
didn't
down.
even realize we started the podcast.
I just started
way
it
to
for
be
you
on
'cause
it.
You're taking too long.
Hold on.
I mean, hold on.
Sorry, we're gonna
hold
start
on
again.
for
We're gonna
Matt?
start
Wait.
again.
Okay, we're good.
Hi, welcome back to the Super.
Sorry, we had to take a break. Matt had to get himself prepared.
Yeah, the Hershey squirts. He picked a really good time to do it too.
I know we
Anyway,
just started the podcast, and all of a sudden
welcome
he's
to the
like, "Here
fucking podcast.
the squirts."
Yeah. Sorry.
So Super Mega is a year old now.
Almost
in
a year
April.
old.
So
How are you feeling about this whole thing?
Oh my god, about Super Mega.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm very happy with it right now.
You've moved to this kind of like let's play format. You're doing the podcast.
Are you interviewing us
Yeah,
right now?
that's what I'm doing.
This is supposed to be the opposite direction.
No, I'm
Okay, whatever.
This is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
channel.
I mean, fine.
Everyone
yeah.
knows that. When we played Smash Brothers,
I mean,
I said
we
Matt was our
introduced
guest.
Matt. Yeah.
Matt was our guest.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I feel like I've been working at the Grump office for longer than I actually have.
Yeah.
Same.
We've only been working here since
End of July.
Yeah.
I feel
Holy
like
fuck.
I don't know. It feels like you guys have been working here longer.
I know it hasn't even been. It's been a little.
It's only
over half
been
a year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow, about
You
time.
guys are already part of the family.
Aw, shucks,
Glad
Ross.
to have you.
Oh well.
We like being here.
Yeah, I like being here.
We're like second. You're kind of like removed cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which ones that you could probably have sex with without getting in too much trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never be, firstborn blood, but we are second cousins, so it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been like 11 months now since we started Super Mega, and I really like what, obviously some of the earlier stuff we look back at and we're like, but for the most part now, for now, I feel like our channel is, I'm very happy with it
Well,
right now.
100% because we all three have a similar disdain for catchphrases being brought up into the
I don't know what
channels.
you're talking
We
about.
recently killed our catchphrase, and we are enforcing that hard.
You know,
Is it goddamn it, Ross?
It was not. It was yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
Daddy
God,
likes.
I fucking cringed.
like why? Like you understand? Like at the
Okay,
time.
let me. Talk
Okay,
about
okay,
it. 'Cause
okay.
I get asked this a lot.
we
like,
brought the expert in. We brought the fucking expert in.
Yeah, I've been dealing with this for a long time. All right, so you come up, you're on the internet, you're like, hey, look at me, I'm on the internet. I got a
Whoa.
YouTube channel.
You're all wacky and zany.
My catchphrase is Voinka. I just made that up now. Voinka. All right.
I thought you just said wanker.
No, Voinka.
Okay.
I made up that
Voinka.
word. Voinka. So let's say Voinka's your catchphrase, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then every time you're in public, like you go to the Ren Fair, and then people see you, and you go, "Dude, you're David Matthews."
Fan.
Voinka! Bam! Voinka! Like, do you think fucking David Matthews is gonna love that catchphrase after every single fucking time you meet someone? There's like, Voinka!
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they would love it.
Of course.
Of course.
They came up with it. It's genius.
It's genius.
I love when someone comes up to me and they say, yes, 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 Daddy likes. I love it.
Instead of like just having a normal one-on-one with another human being, they automatically subject themselves to be lower than you. Haha.
Sorry, what? Are we talking about race? What's going on?
What?
What are you
talking? We're talking about fans coming up and saying catchphrases.
Oh, sorry, I just zoned out because you're
Like,
boring me.
I know what I'm saying. Oh, fuck off. I'd rather have a legitimate conversation with someone who is a fan of my content.
I love it when Ryan gets mad.
What the fuck?
He just goes, fuck off.
Or I like start shouting out just a line of fucking curse words.
Non-coherent insults.
Fuck you.
Fucking shit ass, stupid ass, bell bottom jeans, bitch.
On the last
With the fur.
on the last podcast, you called me a bell ringer, and on this
I call it
What,
because
like a low-income person?
yeah,
What
like
does that mean?
it's like a bell ringer because
like-
then I also linked it to Quasimodo. I'm calling him like a Quasimodo type
dude,
person.
if you imagine someone ringing a bell, they look like a fucking idiot.
Just a bell ring. Yeah, I think that's a good slang.
You know when
That's
you go
good
to a
slang.
counter and there's no one there, but there's a bell? No one wants to ring that fucking bell. You look like an idiot.
You look like an asshole. I thought. I think I just.
You
I
do
feel
look
like
like
an
an
You
asshole.
look like an impatient asshole. Just wait. They're probably in the bathroom. Don't touch the bell.
The only time I've ever touched the bell was my dad works at a hotel just to get like his attention or like someone I know's attention, like a friend, like to fuck with him. But
Is your dad Mr. Mosby?
is my dad a bald black man?
Yes.
No, he's not.
I've met him. He
I
is.
wish he was.
Oh, that'd be
I'm
great. If
kidding,
he was,
Dad.
that'd
I
be
love you
great.
the way you are. White. I can't change that. What am I supposed to say?
It's true. It's true.
What wait, is it racist of me to like be glad that my dad is white and like, oh man.
Well, that's a good question because technically, hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out first. You couldn't say. You wouldn't be white if your dad wasn't white unless you were adopted. So, you saying that. Yeah, I guess it can't be racist. Wait, maybe.
I'm not saying it in the sense. I'm not saying it in the sense of, boy, I'm glad my dad's white because I'm white and I'm better. I'm saying, thank God my dad's white because that means he's my dad.
That it's racist because you say I'm glad I'm white and not one of those other things.
But I'm not saying that.
But you just did.
But
leave a comment below.
As an example,
Ryan's
Ross.
racist.
Oh, you're just gonna keep interrupting me, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just to get in the fucking spot to get me all riled up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to get you riled
Matt,
up.
you wanna interject an
Matt, you
idea?
got any energy to add to this conversation?
I'm glad. We're 5 minutes into
I'm sorry.
an over.
I'm so anxious.
Just fucking.
Hey, Ross, it's all right.
It's funny.
We have 75 more minutes to fill, so
Okay,
let's
cool.
talk about more racism.
Okay.
Wait, what were
I
you?
thought we were talking about catchphrases. How did this fucking turn?
Yeah, I don't know how it got. Wait, what were you saying about your dad owning a hotel before I made the?
He doesn't own a hotel. He's a manager at a hotel.
Okay, what were you saying that I interrupted you?
I was saying you were saying how people are either annoying or they look like impatient assholes.
The bell ringers.
When they ring bells
Yeah,
up at front desks. And I'm saying I only do that when I know the person and I'm fucking with them type of thing. Or like I'm just trying to be like, hey, I'm here, huh? Because I don't... What?
No, I'm just imagining.
What?
I'm imagining nothing. I was gonna say I'm imagining you go into a hotel you've never been, and you're like, "Hey, I'm here, ding, ding, ding," like ringing the bell.
That's what the bell's used for.
I never ring it though, because I feel like I just feel like an asshole ringing it. I feel like I'm being like, "Excuse me, serve me."
I'm very important.
I do it if like 5 minutes had passed, but usually I'll just kind of.
Is the microwave rude?
No.
It dings and you
Yeah,
go.
but it's not a fucking human. It didn't have to pass a Turing test, you fucking idiot.
Exactly.
I'm sorry,
And also,
Not yet. Not yet. Microwaves are getting to that point.
Well, have you asked Alexa if she can pass the Turing test?
can she?
I'll go ask her right now,
You
and
know
I'll.
what she says?
What does she say?
No, I'm not pretending to be human.
Whoa.
Okay.
She doesn't need to pretend to be a lower species.
Wow. That's crazy.
That is true.
That's racist to everyone because we're all human.
We're all animals.
Will there be a point where there's this whole like racism, sexism battle, but in a world of humans and robots?
Probably.
Like robism.
Like an iRobot with Will Smith and
Robosexual?
Elijah Wood. No, what's his name? What's
Elijah Wood.
That's not his name.
Frodo Baggins?
What's his name? Shia LaBeouf.
You know what's great about
Shia LaBeouf was an iRobot.
Was he?
Yeah, I don't know.
He is he's an
Shia
iRobot.
LaBeouf's an iRobot.
I just remember Will Smith.
He's the punk teenager that Will Smith
that was Shia
does
LaBeouf?
wisecracks to.
Oh, I mean that sounds like a Shia LaBeouf role.
Yeah, that's
I
Shia LaBeouf.
haven't seen iRobot in a good
You know,
10 years. I don't know. It's been ages.
iRobot is really funny because there was this girl in high school. I think it was Laura.
And she was a robot.
No, she wasn't a robot, but she was like, "I'm gonna go see iRobot later today." I'm like, "Oh, I mean, it was a crazy twist how he was a robot. After all, I came up with that on the spot because I thought it would fuck with her. Because at the start of that movie, he gets cut and then he has a robot arm.
Yeah.
So I figured, like, if and that split second when she said that, I think maybe I was trying to flirt. I don't even know, but I just said that and just came out, and I was like, wait, why did I say that? Because it makes sense. If you watch that movie and you told someone, oh yeah, that's the twist is that he's a robot, which it isn't.
I forgot that.
At the start of the movie, he has a robot arm because this synthetic skin comes off, right?
And you realize the cinematic element of that because it's showing that he is a part of what he hates irrationally.
Yeah, because
he has no choice in being part robot, just like how they have no choice in being robots themselves.
Because his dad lost his job because of a robot.
Yep.
That was the plot. He was mad because his dad lost his job to robot.
Oh yeah, and his mom, and he's like working for his mom, and his mom has a new robot and shit.
He kept getting old shoes as like because he liked how retro they were, but it was clearly an ad for Nike.
Yeah,
he didn't have
Converse.
robot
I think it was
shoes?
Converse, right?
Yeah.
No, he had shoes from our time, and they were like, "Are you wearing those retro things?" And he's like, "I think they're cool," and I'm like, "That's just a fucking ad right there."
I think they are cool.
I think they're cool. $9.95.
These are
at
some
your
nice
local
shoes.
McDonald's.
What are we? Some Nikes shoes?
What are we? Some kind of iRobot?
It was Converse, but anyway, yeah.
Oh man, dude.
Robots are never going to be able to draw though that well. They'll just draw photos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They can't come up with ideas. Wait, what's the thing? Do you think robots will be able to come up with original ideas of themselves? Not like linking things, but kind of.
Here's the thing: there is no such thing. Well, there's technically no such thing as an original idea, right? Even if you come up with a really good original idea, something probably spurred it on.
Yeah.
So the idea you had wasn't original; it was from someone else's idea. So
like
kind of like.
So computer
What
would
are you
use.
laughing at,
What are
fucker?
you fucking doing?
You said spurred it on.
Spurred it on.
What?
I think you meant spurred.
No, I know, but it came out
but it
as
counts-
spurred it on.
Just spurred it all over your face.
Yeah, that's sorry, it made me laugh.
Ideas all over.
Ross, please don't spurt on me.
Spurt, dude, please. I'm spurting.
No, please.
That's our new catchphrase.
Not
guys.
in my hair.
Guys,
Spurted me.
That's a new one. I'm
Spurted
spurting.
me.
I'm spurting hard.
If we start seeing people actually send.
And Zoinka, what was it? Zoinka?
Zoinka.
Zoinka.
I'm
Because I remember
spurting.
it sounded like Wanka.
Don't steal it
Zoinka.
Don't steal it. That's David Matthews.
David Matthews.
You know who that is, right?
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews
Band.
is a singer. He has a band.
It's called the
that's
Dave
his YouTube
Matthews
channel. I just made up that name. I didn't even know that was a real
That's
person.
not an original idea. He already had that name.
Before you came up with it.
That's true. So see,
Justin Bieber had my haircut before me, apparently.
hey, I had the same haircut in that same day and age too. Actually, we're talking about original ideas. Do you know that whole game when you say a sentence that you know has never been said before?
Yep.
You're the first person to ever say that sentence.
Yeah.
Give me one, Ryan. No one else has
Okay,
ever said this
okay.
in the history of mankind.
Boy, that hippo over there sure wants to be fucked by General Sam Worthington.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sam Worthington's an actor, actually, isn't he? Isn't he the guy in the new Terminator? Like he's the one that he's just bland and people don't like him.
This podcast is gonna come out and someone's
Okay, I
gonna
got
just Google that and
Okay.
it's gonna find out actually there was a hippo that was
Okay,
fucked
here
by
we
Sam
go.
Worthington.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Quokkas are the least favorite animal of everyone on planet Earth, and they're not cute.
No
They
one's
are
ever
cute.
said
No one's
that.
ever
No
said
one's ever
exactly.
said that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a lie. So no one's gonna say that unless they're
You've
lying.
got to meet him. What was it like meeting those things?
So
You know
Like,
where they're from,
Well,
right?
are they friendly?
Okay, so where I grew up was Perth, Western Australia. Off the coast of Perth is literally a 45-minute ferry ride. Is the home of the quokkas. It's literally
Whoa.
one
I do
island off
believe
the
in
coast
fairies.
of.
I do.
Yeah, I mean boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in those too.
Yeah.
So you get on the ferry, you go over there 45 minutes or so. You arrive, you get off, and there's not really much around. There's like a tourist center, and then there's like a weird like sandstone building where you can buy like milk in a Mars bar and shit. And fish
You can
and
buy
chips.
milk in a Mars
No,
bar.
milk and a Mars bar. I'm just saying
Okay.
they have a convenience store.
You get spurted on.
And
too.
then you fucking you walk around for a while and you're like, where are the fucking quokkas? And then all of a sudden there's like crows and the galahs and actually there's no galahs there, but they have magpies and the magpies are making an annoying noise and you're just like, I'm on Rottnest Island. Where are the quokkas? And you just keep going. And then eventually when the sun starts to come down, like little fucking fluffy Santa Clauses, they come out all magical and they just walk up to you and they're so friendly.
How would you describe a quokka?
Okay, so a quokka, it's spelled Quokka, and they're
So
these
cute.
small marsupials. They resemble a wombat, like wombat with small arms and legs.
A koala a little bit in the
Not really
face.
koala.
In the
They're
face.
more of a wombat in the face.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So and they stand upright and they have a little like tail, and they kind of look like short